Ever since they learned I was the fake heir, my classmates have been thrilled. They were not looking to mock me. They were just excited to finally see what a poor person looked like. At last, someone could claim the need-based aid spot. My adoptive parents were not cruel and bitter like they are in novels. They did not throw me out of the house. When the real heir sneered at me, not one person paid him any attention. Instead, they asked what I planned to do. Now that your biological son is back, I will naturally go find my biological parents. I took a sip of hot tea. Mu Yaoi thought I had been raised well, always decisive and efficient. Unfortunately, we shared no blood. No matter how poised and gracious I was, I could not compare to his biological son. Naturally, Mu Yaoi would not ask me to stay. The Mu family will give you 3 million yuan. From here on, you are on your own. I will never forget what you did to raise me. Mu Yaoi responded flatly. Pack up, and old Liu will drive you. I set down my teacup and went upstairs. At the turn of the stairs, Mu Zhuan's voice came from behind me. My adoptive family is very poor. If you bring too much luggage, they will have nowhere to put it, and those luxury goods will be useless there. Do not make a bad first impression. I glanced at Aunt Sun, who was waiting nearby. Throw out everything I am not taking. Mu Zhuan froze at my words. Throw away everything he does not want. Those are all limited edition designer goods. Any one of them is worth a fortune. How is that any different from burning money? I found that absurd. I went upstairs and took a small backpack, packing only my documents and phone. I took nothing else. Then I left the Mu family without a backward glance. The car brought me to an old residential complex. I looked up at the address. Once I confirmed it, I knocked on the iron gate. One look at her weathered features, and I instantly knew she was my biological mother. I gave her a smile. I should be your biological son. Mother Yi was stunned. We stared at each other through the iron gate. I politely asked, may we talk inside? Mother Yi suddenly came back to herself. She hurriedly opened the gate and welcomed me in. She poured a cup of warm water and handed it to me. She looked somewhat uneasy. I accepted it and took a sip. Then I briefly explained how we had been switched at birth. Mu Zhuan was the Mu family's biological son, and I was theirs. Father and Mother Yi had suspected this possibility, but faced with their elegant, refined biological son, they could not help feeling awkward and nervous. I had already reviewed information on the Yi family. I had a general understanding of everyone. Is there anything you would like to ask me? This hardly felt like a family reunion. It felt more like a business negotiation. Mother Yi nervously asked what I wanted to eat. A gentle smile rested on my lips. I do not have anything particular in mind. Mother Yi stood and looked at Father Yi. Then I will go to the market, call Zixi and the others, and tell them to come home quickly. When the iron gate clanged outside, I rose and stepped out of the house. There, I met my biological sisters. My smile was warm. I am Mu Chen. At the sound of that deep, pleasant male voice, Yi Shiwei's heart trembled slightly. She met my gaze in disbelief. You do not mind how modest our home is? Yi Shiwei felt somewhat reassured. Dad already told me what happened. This is our youngest sister, Jia. Mother Yi returned from grocery shopping and went into the kitchen. She seemed to be avoiding talking with me. Father Yi and I sat on the small sofa. The other three sat cross-legged on the floor. The room felt terribly cramped. Father Yi let out a heavy sigh. You have seen our family's circumstances. We are crammed into this apartment of less than 60 square meters. I can rent you a place outside and give you a monthly allowance. I looked at Father Yi calmly. Do you not want me living at home? Father Yi hurried to explain. Of course not. I am just afraid you will not be used to it. Once I had permission to stay at home, I seem to be in good spirits. If you do not mind, I will live at home from now on. Yi Shiwei suggested getting me a larger bed. I can sleep on the guest room sofa. I am also planning to remodel the layout. When Yi Jiai heard she would get a new desk, she bounced excitedly on the spot. Mother Yi came out of the kitchen carrying dishes. Dinner was ready. There was delicious fish soup on the table, along with some rather large poached shrimp. Yi Jiai's eyes lit up. These were her favorite dishes. She only got to eat them on holidays. I was used to lavish meals, so this spread did not stir much in me. Still, I could feel the Yi family's thoughtfulness. The awkwardness faded away. I had brought nothing but money when I arrived. I planned to buy a couple of outfits nearby. Yi Jiai volunteered to show me the way, so I took my little sister's hand and headed out. I used to shop for clothes in private VIP rooms. Choosing them myself was a new experience. I picked out 3 or 4 casual outfits and a pair of sneakers. On the way home, holding my little sister's hand, We passed a stall selling candied fruit skewers. I saw her quietly staring at the glass display case, then sensibly looking away. So I bought her a strawberry skewer. Holding the candied fruit, Yijiai's face was radiant with joy. Grinning, she held it up to offer me some. Big brother, have one too. I paused slightly. Then I ruffled my little sister's hair. Big brother does not like sweets. Yijiai counted the strawberries on the skewer. For me, our eldest sister, second sister, and mom and dad. There is exactly one for each of us. I answered with an amused hum. I led my sister back to the residential complex. From afar, I saw Yizixi rummaging around. She picked up a doll from a battered cardboard box. Hearing my footsteps, Yizixi panicked and hid the doll behind her back. As I walked toward her step by step, my expression remained perfectly calm. No need to hide it. I saw it all. Yizixi lowered her eyes. Like a child who had done something wrong, she slowly brought out the doll. Xuan used to love this doll. He had to hold it every night to sleep. I never thought he would not even want this anymore. This is far from the only thing he has abandoned. My indifferent remark pierced straight through Yizixi's heart. Only once she felt pain would she truly wake up. I sighed inwardly. If you want it, take it home. She tossed the doll back into the cardboard box. Then she forced a bitter smile. The small electric fan creaked as it spun through the summer night. Beyond the old, poorly soundproofed window came the noisy sounds of the neighbors. When I woke in the middle of the night, I heard voices outside. It was Ningxue whispering with her parents. Chen probably is not used to this bed. I heard him tossing and turning last night. Let us buy him a good mattress. My scholarship comes in next week. I can make up the shortfall then. The three of them spoke very softly, but I heard every word clearly. By the time I got dressed and walked out, Ningxue and Father Yi had already left. Where did Dad and eldest sister go? Mother Yi poured me a cup of warm water. Your eldest sister went back to college early. Your dad went out to drive for a ride-hailing service. He also took your eldest sister to the train station. Train tickets are cheaper in the morning. Ningxue was clearly the sort who, to save money, took frugality to the extreme. Yet she worried I would sleep uncomfortably, and did not hesitate to buy me a softer mattress. A strange feeling stirred inside me. Yizixi left early for her part-time job. Yijiai went to play with the neighborhood kids. Mother Yi went to do odd jobs at a handicraft workshop. I was the only one left at home. I got up and opened the door. Sumanyu swept in with her tools like a whirlwind. Young master, I have not even had breakfast. I showed her around the apartment. Then I explained what I wanted from the renovation. Sumanyu scrunched up her face. She looked deeply troubled. Your old mattress alone cost more than 20,000 yuan. Now you want me to renovate the whole place for 20,000? I folded my arms and leaned against the doorframe. Why would I trouble you with something easy? After measuring the entire apartment, she had a rough layout in mind. We returned to the living room and sat down. Sumanyu closed her tablet. Have you really decided to stay here? Tired of all that gourmet food? I gave her a knowing smile. Do you know why the Yi family went bankrupt back then? I have heard some rumors. They said that while Ningxue was working a part-time job, she offended the third miss of the Mu family's boyfriend. So the third miss drove the Yi family into bankruptcy. On the surface, that was indeed the reason. But I knew better than anyone. Ningxue was not the one who caused the bankruptcy. Suddenly, a commotion rose outside the door. Father Yi hurried inside. Did you not go out to pick up ride-hailing fares? I forgot my phone charger. His gaze fell on the person beside me. Father Yi found the young woman before him familiar. So I introduced her. This is my friend, Sumanyu. I asked her to look over the apartment's layout. Father Yi froze completely. He had heard of Sumanyu. She was a nationally renowned design prodigy. Despite her young age, she had already won many awards. Countless people offered fortunes for her designs. But Sumanyu never gave them a second glance. I will not interrupt your work. I will grab my charging cable and go. Father Yi was afraid of disrupting Sumanyu's work. He grabbed the cable and hurried away. We did not chat any further. Sumanyu rushed back to draft the design plans. I gathered my identification and paperwork, then stopped by the handicraft workshop on the way. 7 or 8 women were busy inside, chatting as they applied labels. Standing in the doorway, I called inside. Mom, I am going out to take care of something. I will not be home for lunch. Mother Yi smiled warmly. Remember to come home early tonight. Past the crowded intersection by the market, a black McLaren was parked at the roadside. I opened the rear door and got in. The young woman beside me had gentle features. From the moment she spotted me in the distance, her eyes had not left me. Young master, You are so heartless. Something this big. And you are only telling me now. The corner of my lips lifted slightly. Were you not overseas before? What would have been the point of telling you sooner? Liu Ryan gave a drawn-out, knowing hum. So, you blame me for not being with you. You are sulking at me over it. She left me both speechless and amused. Where did you learn to talk like some domineering CEO? Young master has not contacted me in so long. I can only comfort myself. I poked her palm with my fingertip. Stop joking around. Can you get used to living with the Yi family? I definitely am not used to it yet. I barely slept last night. I rested my head on Liu Ryan's shoulder, listening to her warm, low voice. My whole body immediately relaxed. My voice grew softer and softer. I had Suman Yu look over the layout. The renovation can begin tomorrow. You are as quick as ever. If you cannot sleep well, come to my place tonight. When she heard no reply from me, she lowered her head and glanced at me. She found that I was already fast asleep. Her lips curved in helpless amusement. She told the driver to raise the air conditioning temperature. The cabin was filled with the scent of citrus. That scent always made me feel relaxed. I slept on Liu Ryan's shoulder for 2 hours. The car had long been parked outside the government office. Liu Ryan gently held my hand, patiently waiting for me to wake fully. Only then did she accompany me inside. The household registration transfer was handled quickly. Liu Ryan handled every step. Once everything was settled, my household registration was transferred to the Yi family, officially added to Father Yi's household registry. As I was cutting into a steak at an upscale restaurant, my phone chimed with a text message. The Mu family had transferred 3 million yuan into my account. They think 3 million yuan can buy your silence? Liu Ryan kept her head lowered as she cut her steak. A trace of cold mockery colored her voice, making her meaning hard to read. I never wanted their money. By accepting this hush money, the Mu family would not have to worry about me spreading rumors, and I would not have to guard against them causing trouble. That way, everyone could rest easy. Liu Ryan drove me back. The car stopped at the market intersection again. Liu Ryan ruffled my hair. The tenderness in her eyes was deep enough to drown a man. Only after I turned and entered the market did Liu Ryan tell the driver to leave. When I returned to the old apartment complex, Yizixi had just finished her part-time shift. I quickly washed my hands and sat at the table. I had never eaten pickled mustard green fish like this before. The fish was tender and silky, while the pickled greens were wonderfully crisp. Its tangy, spicy, savory aroma made my mouth water. It was the most I had eaten in 17 years. I drank 2 bowls of fish soup alone. Mother Yi beamed with delight. Tomorrow, I will learn to cook some new dishes. I called City No. 1 high school today. If you would like to attend City No. 1 high school, you can take the spot Xuan left open. Yizixi spoke with great care, afraid she might phrase it poorly, and upset me by mentioning Xuan. At the mention of transferring schools, Mother Yi lowered her eyes and pressed her lips together. Our family's financial situation really cannot support you continuing at Shanghua. Your father and I have truly let you down. I truly did not understand how the Yi family thought. They felt guilty because they were poor. They felt guilty because their home was too small. They even felt guilty for being unable to afford an elite school. What was there to feel guilty about? You should fight for what you want yourself. Relying on others will never let you turn your life around, even if those people are your own family. That was what the Mu family had taught me. Thank you for worrying about my transfer, second sister. But I will remain at Shanghua. Before Mother Yi could voice her concerns, I already knew what she was thinking. I raised a hand slightly to stop her. The student ranked first in their grade at Shanghua receives a full tuition waiver. You do not need to feel guilty toward me. I will fight for whatever I need, because it is in my own interest. It was never something you should have to bear. Mother Yi's eyes suddenly reddened. Tears shimmered in them. She fought hard to keep them from falling, forcing out a relieved smile. Yizixi composed herself, then smiled warmly again. Since you can stay at Shanghua, we will absolutely support your decision. Shanghua is not far from City No. 1 high school. From now on, second sister will pick you up after school. After dinner, Yizixi went to wash the dishes. I returned to my room to review my lessons. The next morning, after breakfast, the family left for work and school. I called Liu Ryan last night, asking to borrow a driver. The car was already waiting at the intersection. After waving goodbye to Mother Yi, the 3 siblings walked to the intersection and got in. Yizixi looked at the car we were about to take. I glanced at the Toyota emblem. I had asked Liu Ryan to send her cheapest car. Who would have thought she would send the latest Alfred? To Liu Ryan, it really was cheap. but compared to the Yi family's battered second-hand car, this one was absurdly expensive. Is this your friend's car? Yi Zixi found it hard to believe. Even after leaving the Mu family, you can still summon a car whenever you want. Are you really no longer the Mu family's young master? I remained perfectly calm. I was merely exasperated by Liu Ryan's arrangement. Yi Jiayi obediently stayed in the back seat. Second sister, send me the address of your part-time job. Only then did Yi Zixi suddenly realize. The driver smoothly started the car. Holding my phone, I messaged Liu Ryan. Did you just buy this car? It takes over an hour to get to City No. 1 high school. I was afraid you would be uncomfortable on such a long ride. Besides, I can use it to take naps too. I looked at the screen and said nothing more, even though I knew she had bought it especially for me. After dropping Yi Zixi off at the Western restaurant, the car smoothly set off again, heading straight for Shanghua High School. When I returned home that evening, dinner was ready. The family sat around the table chatting. The past few days have felt surreal for the Yi family. First, internationally renowned designer Sumanu had willingly come to renovate their home. They had come to see their son in a new light. Even after returning to a poor home, I remained unshaken by praise or humiliation. That was because my confidence had never depended on the Mu family. It came from my own formidable abilities. After dinner, I showered and went to bed early. Only the Yi couple remained in the living room. Mother Yi held a finger to her lips and thought for a long time, as though she had finally made up her mind. We cannot keep underestimating Mu Chen's connections. We should give it another shot while we're still young enough. Father Yi nodded in firm agreement. During these 2 days since Mu Chen returned, I have been thinking about many things too. For this family to live a better life, we truly should not settle for the status quo. Driving rideshare only earns hard-earned money. At the end of the day, we need our own business. Mother Yi sighed, worry clouding her face. But business is not easy these days. Father Yi held his wife's shoulders tightly. His voice was especially firm and resolute. If we succeeded once, then we can certainly succeed a second time. For now, let us look into the market and do proper research before we begin. The next morning, Father Yi took little sister to school. Shanghua, where I studied, was the most elite private school. It stood across the street from City No. 1 high school, where Yi Zixi studied. The two siblings decided to take the bus to school together. The bus stop was not far from the apartment complex. There were still plenty of empty seats when we boarded. Yi Zixi tapped her transit card twice to pay our fares. She guided me protectively to empty seats in the back. I stared at the transit card hanging from her backpack zipper. It was my first time riding a bus. It was also my first time seeing a transit card like that. It seemed quite convenient. Where did you get your transit card? I want one to hang on my backpack too. Yi Zixi fell silent for a few seconds. Then she unclipped her card and placed it in my hand. You need to go to the public service center to get one. Use mine for now. Then how will you ride the bus every day? You can scan a code with your phone to pay now. Yi Zixi smiled with incredible gentleness. She could tell how curious I was about the card, so she simply took it off and gave it to me to play with. I casually clipped it onto my own backpack. More and more people boarded the bus. At this hour, besides students and office workers, there were also many elderly shoppers rushing to the morning market for bargain eggs. With so many people, the bus became crowded. In the sweltering summer heat, the air inside was stale, heavy with the unpleasant sour smell of sweat. Xuan had always hated that smell. He especially hated being crammed onto buses with others. Yi Zixi glanced at her brother beside her, his skin pale and cool-toned. I sat quietly by the window. The breeze outside stirred the hair at my temples. My bright eyes watched the view outside with curiosity. Yi Zixi felt that this overly mature younger brother actually had a very adorable side. Bus drivers were always fierce behind the wheel, so the students would not be late for school. We reached the school stop in only 40 minutes. The stop was right outside City No. 1 high school's gate. Yi Zixi insisted on personally walking me to my school gate. With time to spare, we strolled over leisurely. Quite a few luxury cars sped past us along the way. Every so often, someone rolled down a window and called out a greeting. Yi Zixi finally understood. It seemed her brother got along well with people at school. She had once worried that after others learned his identity, they would gang up on him, ostracize him, and make him suffer. When they reached Shanghua High School's imposing front gate, Yi Zixi felt too self-conscious to go any farther. I will come pick you up after school this afternoon. Seeing how reserved Yi Zixi seemed, I smiled and nodded in agreement. A tall figure came sprinting toward us. His enthusiastic hug made me stagger slightly. Lin Jiajing gripped my shoulders tightly, but his gaze landed on my second sister beside me. I could not help clearing my throat to remind him. Lin Jiajun froze for a moment before coming to his senses. He recognized her as the Yi family's second daughter. He immediately straightened up and adjusted his clothes. I am Lin Jiajun, Mu Chen's classmate, and now his personal bodyguard. I tilted my head and asked in confusion, "Since when did you become a bodyguard?" Lin Jiajun leaned close and whispered in my ear. Miss Liu specifically ordered it. She was afraid people would bully you for being the fake young master. After saying that, he straightened up again. He threw an arm around my shoulders, then grinned at Yizixi and promised, "Second sister, do not worry one bit. I am a competitive taekwondo black belt. No one will dare lay a finger on Mu Chen." Yizixi looked at the cheerful, sunny young man before her. A gentle, kindly smile appeared on her face. "Then thank you for looking after Mu Chen." Lin Jiajun was instantly over the moon. His face flushed as he hurriedly waved his hands. "Second sister, hurry back to school for class." As he watched Yizixi's figure disappear into the distance, Lin Jiajun was still completely smitten. "Does your second sister have a boyfriend? Would you mind if I became your brother-in-law?" I sighed helplessly. "Have you forgotten that you have a fiancé? Do you want my second sister to become the other woman?" At that, Lin Jiajun threw back his head and howled at the sky. I glanced at the luxury watch on my wrist. There were only 15 minutes until the bell rang. "I do not want to be late with you." I quickened my pace toward the classroom. Lin Jiajun hurried after me. "I heard the Yi family went bankrupt and owes a lot of money. You have moved into a rundown apartment building now. Can you really get used to living in a place like that? How about I give you that small villa? I will even get you a full-time driver and housekeeper. Even if I moved, it would not be your turn to show off." Lin Jiajun did not like hearing that. "Miss Liu can give you things, but I cannot. I am your best friend, the one who would take a bullet for you." He clung tightly to my arm. I was helpless, yet amused. Since when did this crowd become so obsessed with playing benefactor? They kept offering luxury cars and villas, complete with drivers and housekeepers. They made it sound as though leaving the Mu family had left me destitute. While they chatted, the two arrived at the classroom door. The moment we stepped into the classroom, the previously lively room fell utterly silent. Everyone stared at me blankly, their eyes wide. Did someone disfigure me? Why are you all looking at me as though you have seen a ghost? Hearing my familiar teasing, everyone sighed in relief and burst out laughing. What cosmetic surgery clinic would dare touch your face? That cannot really be true, can it? Looks like all of you already know. I calmly returned to my seat and sat down. When Shen Mingxi saw me, she quickly moved her chair closer. Leaning over, she lowered her voice and said, "Any news in our circle spreads everywhere in no time. I have an empty property in my name. It has to be better than where you are living now. Use it as a temporary place to stay." Before I could refuse, Lin Jiajun gave her a sharp smack. He would not even accept my villa. Shen Mingxi pursed her lips. She was no match for this feisty boy. The group kept laughing, joking, and making a racket. They did not even notice when their homeroom teacher, Zhou Zumai, entered. "What state secrets are you discussing so eagerly? Your class is the loudest on the entire floor." Seeing their teacher's displeased expression, everyone quickly returned to their seats. No one dared make another sound. Shenghua was an elite private school for the wealthy. Its students all came from powerful, affluent families. Yet they were not much different from ordinary students. They respected strict teachers just as much, and feared disciplinary records just as much. Outsiders assumed elite schools were full of idle rich kids, who did nothing but flaunt their wealth and compete with one another. In reality, their studies were far more demanding. Besides the standard college prep subjects, they also had to study business management, horseback riding, and more. Shenghua was founded by the nation's most powerful elite. They imposed exceptionally strict standards on student conduct. Any disrespect toward a teacher would result in severe punishment. The student would not be the only one punished. Even their family business could be affected. Since it is the first day of term, I will let this slide. But in your final year, use your heads. Do not cause trouble. Understood? The students shouted in unison. Understood. This term, our class has a new transfer student. Please welcome Mu Xuan. Everyone's expressions immediately turned strange. Their eyes all shifted toward the podium. Lin Jiajun gave me a meaningful look. I merely smiled indifferently. My amused, spectators' air left everyone guessing. After several days of intensive etiquette training, Mu Xuan had finally picked up some of a young master's polish. He flashed what he considered a perfect smile, then calmly introduced himself. "I am Mu Xuan. I was switched with another child by accident when I was young. I have finally been reunited with my biological parents. I hope we can get along well over the coming year. Xuan wore a custom designer casual suit, putting on the air of a refined gentleman. At his former school, City No. 1 high school, he might have been admired simply for being the Mu family's young master. Unfortunately, this was Shanghua, where talent and power were everywhere. His little schemes were not worth anyone's notice. When he finished speaking, the classroom remained deathly silent. Mu Xuan's pretentious act irritated Shen Mingxi. She casually sneered. The Mu family's real young master certainly is something else. The moment he returned to the Mu family, he had Mu Chen thrown out. Mu Xuan's eyes trembled sharply at her words. He slipped into his usual innocent victim routine. Lowering his eyes, he looked as though he had struggled over this for a long time. I thought the adoptive parents who raised him for 17 years, he would not be able to bear leaving them. I never expected him to ask Dad for 3 million, then leave without even looking back. I truly do not understand. How could my brother be so heartless? How can you be so heartless? A furious roar rang through the silent classroom. Mu Xuan turned toward it in alarm. He saw Lin Jiajun, his eyes blazing with fury, and me beside him, smiling with calm amusement. Homeroom teacher Zhou Zumai frowned in displeasure. She glared at Lin Jiajun, who had risen after slamming his desk. Sit down now. Mu Xuan suppressed the slight curl of his lips. Clutching the hem of his clothes, he looked deeply wronged. My adoptive family is struggling financially. The change in my brother's lifestyle is too drastic. It is understandable that he resents me. Zhou Zumai did not speak up for Mu Xuan. This was a school with strict discipline. It was her responsibility to regulate her students' words and conduct. Shenghua's students would one day become leaders in their fields. The teachers qualified to teach here were no ordinary people. Zhou Zumai saw through Mu Xuan's clumsy little act at a glance. She simply could not be bothered to expose him in public. Let me remind you of something. Shenghua is not a place for you to fool around. And remember to wear your uniform to class tomorrow. Mocking snickers immediately rose from the class. Mu Xuan nodded awkwardly. He hurried down from the podium and found an empty seat. A stir ran through the classroom. Everyone chattered excitedly about the gossip. Mu Xuan looked around from where he sat. His classmates were discussing business investments, but he could not understand a word of it. He felt completely out of place. Finally, he turned his attention to the crowd's center. What is hanging from his back? The former young master has really fallen on hard times. He actually has to squeeze onto a bus to get to school. That tuition-free scholarship the school gave him before seems useful after all. Now that you mention it, I had forgotten. The scholarship and the financial aid placement have both been arranged for Brother Chen. I found it both helpless and amusing. Just as I was about to get up and walk over, Mu Xuan launched into a self-righteous rebuke. You have gone too far. Everyone looked at Mu Xuan in bafflement. I have always been close with them. I am usually easygoing. We are just joking around, as usual. Who was Mu Xuan to make such a big deal of it? Lin Jiajun thought Mu Xuan had something wrong with his head. He had no interest in dealing with this real young master. I know your biological family is poor. You are used to living like a young master. You must not be able to stand life with the Yi family. I can plead with Mom and Dad for you. Just lower your head and apologize properly. They will definitely agree to let you come back. Mu Xuan acted as if he were truly thinking of me. Most people would see him as pure and kind, and me, the fake young master, as an ungrateful fool. But the room suddenly fell silent. The others watched as though enjoying a show, staring at Mu Xuan without saying a word. It was as though they had encountered some strange creature. After a long moment, Lin Jiajun turned to me, then asked in bewilderment, "Does he not feel embarrassed?" I am embarrassed for him. Everyone burst out laughing. It really was painfully awkward. I truly mean well for you. The bankrupt Yi family cannot give you a good life. Mom and Dad are actually good people. They are just angry right now. They are angry that you took the money and left, with no thought for old ties. Go apologize to Mom and Dad. They will definitely let you return to the Mu family. I smiled, speechless. I had spent a full 17 years with the Mu family. I knew Mr. and Mrs. Mu better than Mu Xuan did. They might not even care about their biological son, let alone an adopted son like me. Suman Yu is going to design a room for me. How come I have never heard about that? My lips curled into a knowing smile. Mu Xuan lowered his gaze and smiled shyly. I told them it was unnecessary, too. But they said they had neglected me for too long. They insisted on making it up to me. They insisted on hiring the best designer for the renovation, and making it exactly how I like it. I placed my phone on the desk and turned on speakerphone. You really kept that well hidden. An angry roar came through the phone. That is complete nonsense. When did I ever agree to do any design work? Xuan, right? When he called yesterday, I told him to get lost. Can he not understand plain words? Or is something wrong with his brain? He even claimed he was the Mu family's young master. He gave me money and told me to shut up and work obediently for him. He said the Mu family was beyond my power to offend. Who cares about his pathetic money? Mu family, high family, who cares? Who does he think he is? Ordering me around. He is spreading rumors everywhere and damaging my standing. Can he afford to compensate me for that loss? The voice on the phone was sharp and biting. Lin Jiajun decisively hung up. He raised his brows at me as if seeking praise. Smiling, I gave him a thumbs up. Everyone present was exceptionally shrewd. Among these peers from the same circle, they understood each other's intentions perfectly. They came to Shenghua not only to study, but also to build valuable connections. The people they would deal with in the future were all around them. Building ties with valuable people would greatly help them inherit their family businesses someday. Who was genuine and who was counterfeit did not matter to them at all. What mattered was whether that person had value. Anyone who ranked at the top of the grade was bound to become someone important someday. This was the perfect chance to forge connections. I may no longer bear the Mu surname, but if Mu Xuan were cut off from the Mu family, he would be nothing. No one had been prejudiced against Mu Xuan at first. Out of respect for the Mu family's influence, they could even have befriended him. Unfortunately, he was far too impatient. He even dared to provoke me first. Their silence came from not caring to expose him or waste time on someone worthless. But Mu Xuan insisted on coming back again and again, so he could not blame them for being ruthless. The atmosphere became tense and awkward. Mu Xuan's face instantly turned livid. The corners of his eyes reddened with grievance. He looked helpless and pitiful. Some people were willing to stand up for me, so naturally others could not stand me. Lin Zian stood up indignantly. You have gone too far. Is it fun to toy with someone like this? Mu Xuan is only worried about you. The Yi family is bankrupt now. He only wants to help you. Do you really have to exclude him like this? Everyone looked over at him, utterly speechless. They all knew exactly what Lin Zian was thinking. Lin Zian looked angry on the surface, but inside, he was already overjoyed. After all, I had always outshone him. Now that the Yi family had suddenly gone bankrupt, he could finally turn the tables and outshine me. So he started posturing and trying to lord it over me. He could also use this chance to befriend the Mu family's real young master. He was killing two birds with one stone. Mu Xuan looked up in surprise. He tried to hide the embarrassment on his face, then gave Lin Zian a grateful look. Lin Zian returned a gentle smile. A hint of sympathy appeared in his eyes at just the right moment, as if he truly regarded Mu Xuan as a friend. Just then, someone knocked on the classroom door. Everyone turned to look. Liu Ryan walked in carrying a file. What is all this commotion in here? Leaving Lin Zian standing there awkwardly, Liu Ryan did not spare him even a glance. She strode straight toward me. I am just here to deliver something to the young master. That was what she said. But Lin Zian did not dare argue. Though the students in this class were their family's future heirs, the Liu Ryan before them already stood on equal footing with their parents. Mu Xuan quietly studied the newcomer. The young woman wore simple, clean clothes. Her skin was fair, and her face was breathtakingly beautiful. She carried an ethereal air. A dark red Bodhi bead bracelet circled her wrist. As she passed by him, he caught a faint citrus scent. Mu Xuan was deeply shaken. The Yi family's heiress had once drawn plenty of attention for her beauty. But seeing this young woman, he felt Yi Zixi could not compare at all. Yet she was dressed so simply. She looked like no more than someone running deliveries. Mu Xuan had no idea that Liu Ryan's outfit alone, along with her other understated accessories, especially that Bodhi bead bracelet, was worth as much as a villa in Binhai. Shen Mingxi teased. What could be so important that Sister Liu had to deliver it herself? Liu Ryan's gaze settled directly on me, openly revealing the fondness in her eyes. I am the young master's personal gopher. Even a single leaf has to be delivered to him personally. Everyone laughed and began teasing them. But Liu Ryan and I were not at all shy about it. We remained completely open about it. The entire class knew about our relationship. We had grown up together as childhood sweethearts. We both understood each other's feelings. There was nothing to deliberately hide. We had not made it official only because the time was not right. We wanted to devote more time to our careers. Liu Ryan placed the file on my desk. It instantly drew the crowd's astonished attention. Everyone gathered around to have a look. This project proposal is beautifully done. Brother Chen's work is truly exceptional. This year's spot clearly has your name on it. My proposal scored far higher, after all. I only smiled, saying nothing. My relaxed manner suggested I had victory in hand. Xuan glanced over from the side. He recognized it as something Yi Jiayi had helped prepare. The Yi family's little sister made this, right? It is just something a child threw together. Using it for materials on a key project is far too disrespectful to the other competitors. Shen Mingxi shot him a speechless glance. That is an awfully presumptuous thing to say. This proposal ranked first in the evaluation, and you call it something thrown together. Xuan was instantly rendered speechless. I curled my lips and said, "My sister put a great deal of care into this. She prepared it especially for me. How could your empty theories compare?" There was a trace of protectiveness in my voice. The others protested that I was playing favorites. Sister Liu, hurry and rein him in. Liu Ryan slid both hands into her pockets. She leaned slightly over my desk. The young master is the only one who ever gets to keep me in line. How could I possibly be qualified to manage him? I could not help but laugh softly. My fingers hooked around Liu Ryan's bracelet. Unwilling to let it go, Xuan stepped forward. "You are not a student here, are you? I understand wanting to work and earn money." Liu Ryan narrowed her eyes in confusion. I already knew something was wrong with Xuan's head, but I never expected him to be this clueless. Everyone fell silent for a moment. Someone had actually called Liu Ryan an errand runner. It was probably the most ridiculous joke of the year. Lin Jiajin laughed so hard he could not straighten up. "You think Sister Liu is just an errand runner? What makes you think you can compete with Brother Chen?" I, too, lifted my lips in speechless disbelief. I took back my earlier impression that Xuan was clever. This guy really was naive. Naive to the point of stupidity. He actually thought he could casually joke around with rich heirs. Someone everyone respectfully called Sister Liu could never be an ordinary person. Liu Ryan lowered her gaze to my hand. "Suman, you asked me to pass along a message. The design plans are finished, and the furniture has been selected. She wants to know whether it is convenient to start work tomorrow." I lowered my voice slightly. "I will get back to her later." Suddenly, I looked up and met the young woman's deep gaze. "You have finished handling the acquisition, right? You're catching a flight later this week, right?" I immediately let go of her hand and gently poked her arm. "Then hurry and get back to work. Do not miss your flight. When I get back, I'll bring you a souvenir." Liu Ryan lightly tilted up my chin. We kept our voices low as we spoke, as though an invisible barrier had risen around us. The others knowingly kept their distance and did not interrupt. They silently savored the romance from the sidelines. Lin Jiajin propped his chin in his hand. A question mark slowly seemed to appear over Shen Mingxi's head. "Is it really appropriate for you two to act like no one else is here?" The school gate was busiest after classes ended. Many snack vendors had begun setting up shop. Although Shanghua was full of wealthy heirs, at this age they still could not resist street food. Among the passing crowds, Yizixi stood out with her gentle, graceful bearing. She resembled a refined young lady from another era. A trace of melancholy seemed to linger in her eyes. I thought that if Zixi ever acted in a historical drama, she would surely capture every young man's heart. Just look at Lin Jiajin. The moment he saw Yizixi, he could barely bring himself to blink. Two voices overlapped. I looked toward the sound and saw Xuan smiling brightly, jogging toward Yizixi. At the sight of Xuan's radiant smile, Yizixi's emotions instantly turned conflicted. She remembered going to find Xuan after school. He used to run toward her with that same excitement. She had once loved this little brother dearly. When the Yi family first went bankrupt, nothing had changed. They rode the bus home together. Sometimes, on a whim, they would walk home instead. Halfway there, Xuan would always ask her to carry him. Zixi would happily carry her brother home on her back. Xuan would cling to her back and say, "My sister is the best sister in the world. I am the happiest child in the world." That happiness shattered in an instant. At some point, Xuan's smile had vanished. It was replaced by a twisted look of loathing. "I do not want to squeeze onto buses anymore. I have had enough. Carry me home." "Why are you so useless? You cannot even walk a little farther. Why can you not buy a bicycle? If you do not have money, then go get a job." In the end, he discarded the sister he had loved most. He abandoned the sister he had once called the best in the world. Yizixi swallowed hard. She did not know how to face Xuan. Xuan did not notice anything unusual about her. He continued smiling sweetly. "I really miss the days when we went to and from school together. It is a shame I transferred to Shenghua. The classmates do not seem to like me very much. They only spend time with Mu Chen. As he spoke, Mu Xuan's smile gradually faded. His eyes slowly reddened. It was as if I had led everyone in excluding him, making him feel terribly wronged. Zixi understood the implication in his words, thinking of the past few days she had spent with me. Her rebuttal nearly slipped out at once. Mu Chen is not that kind of person. He would not be so petty. Though I was raised in a wealthy family for 17 years, I was easygoing and generous. I had never complained that the Yi home was too small, or that the bed was too hard. I praised Mother's cooking, and bought candy for my little sister. I considered my family's needs and helped however I could. I had truly done well. So well that it made her feel guilty. As my sister, she could not do much for me. Instead, she made me worry about her at every turn. Mu Xuan's expression instantly froze. He had thought I left the Mu family too readily, and that once I saw the Yi family's rundown home, all my spoiled young master habits would show. Yet Zixi actually had a good impression of me. In just 2 or 3 short days, she seemed to have forgotten the brother she had lived with for 17 years, and accepted me instead. Hearing Zixi defend me, Mu Xuan was stunned. My lips curved faintly. Since when does young Master Mu go around claiming other people's sisters as his own? My bright, alluring eyes softened slightly, revealing a hint of danger and sharpness. You simply enjoy stealing other people's sisters. The gloom in Zixi's heart vanished at once. A gentle smile appeared on her lips. She did not spare Mu Xuan another glance. My eyes flickered slightly, and a soft curve slowly rose on my lips. Watching as siblings walk away, intense jealousy flared in Mu Xuan's eyes. He watched us walk away, chatting and laughing. All of this was supposed to be his. Mu Xuan ground his teeth. He clenched his fists tightly. His nails dug into his palms, but he felt no pain. His breathing grew increasingly ragged. Only after we vanished from sight did Mu Xuan slowly come back to himself. Everything he had ever wanted was now entirely his. He was enjoying the Mu family's wealth and luxury. They were just a bunch of poor nobodies. He was the Mu family's real young master. When he saw the Mu family's lavish villa, the resentment in Mu Xuan's heart immediately faded. He smiled smugly. Mu Xuan arrogantly ordered Aunt Sun, "What are you standing around for? Hurry up and make me some tea." Aunt Sun bowed slightly. Ever since this young master returned, whenever the master and madam were away, the servants waited on him with extreme caution. They barely dared to breathe. If anything displeased the young master, they would inevitably be scolded. If the tea did not suit him, he made them replace it. If the food was not to his taste, he made the chef cook it again. But Mu Chen never lost his temper before. At the very least, he respected them as human beings. But young Master Mu Xuan now would smash cups and plates at the slightest provocation. It was as though they were not even servants, but slaves he could command as he pleased. Mu Xuan's malicious voice rang out again. Aunt Sun pushed aside her thoughts and hurried over with the tea. Mu Xuan lifted the cup and took a sip. The next second, he viciously hurled it at Aunt Sun. Aunt Sun instinctively stepped back half a pace, but she still could not avoid it. Scalding tea spilled all over the tops of her feet. Aunt Sun kept her head lowered. She secretly rubbed the back of her scalded, reddened hand. Then she immediately crouched down to pick up the cup. "I will make another cup." The butler saw all of it. The butler adjusted his glasses, then gracefully stepped forward. He spoke softly. "Young master, it is time for your etiquette lesson." Mu Xuan glared at him resentfully. "What etiquette lesson?" The butler's expression did not change. "The family recognition banquet is this weekend. The master and madam specifically instructed you to attend on time. You must not make any mistakes at the banquet." Mu Xuan abruptly rose to his feet. "What do you mean by that? Know your place. You are just a servant paid by the Mu family, and you dare order me around." The etiquette teacher always stood there, ruler in hand and face stern. If he did anything wrong, she harshly reprimanded him. She showed no regard for his status. She was only so overbearing because Mu Yaoe and his wife were clearly backing her. The butler gave a calm, unflinching nod. "The 2 young ladies will return for the family recognition banquet." Mu Xuan paused. He had heard that both Mu's sisters had bad tempers. Still, when meeting his biological sisters for the first time, he truly needed to make a good impression. Once he won over his 2 sisters, he would be the undisputed biological son of the Mu family. Then no one would dare look down on him again. Mu Xuan forced down the fury in his heart and resigned himself to attending etiquette class. Unlike the cold, oppressive atmosphere at the Mu home, the Yi family's little house was full of warmth. The family crowded together in happy harmony, occasionally serving food to one another. Everyone kept offering the 2 drumsticks to each other. The children got the drumsticks. The adults ate the wingtips, and the one in the middle got the wing sections. Mother Yi smiled as she placed a middle wing in Yi Zixi's bowl. Yi Jiani and I each got a drumstick. Yi Zixi seemed happier than usual. Perhaps seeing Mu Xuan again had finally put her mind at ease. I looked at the drumstick in my bowl, feeling a rare warmth in my heart. The Mu family was extremely strict about table manners. The seats were spaced far apart. No one was ever allowed to speak during meals or make the slightest sound. Serving food to one another was even less acceptable. Besides, Mu Yaowei and his wife were often away, and my 2 sisters had been sent abroad to study. More often than not, I ate alone. The Yi family was completely different. Family members shared the best food with each other, chatting and laughing together. Though they were crammed into a home of only a few hundred square feet, the atmosphere was still warm and joyful. Every corner carried the warm, lived-in feeling of everyday life. Maybe this was what a real home felt like. Mother Yi rubbed her hands awkwardly. She looked somewhat embarrassed. You children are all at school during the day, and your father drives for a ride-hailing service. I want to set up a stall and run a small business too, to help ease the family's burden. I was thinking of stocking up on goods to sell outside an elementary school. I do not have much experience, so I do not know whether I can run the stall well. Before getting married, she had been her family's pampered daughter. She only occasionally helped with simple chores, and never had to worry about anything else. When she married Father Yi, his business had already achieved some success, so she stayed home as a full-time housewife, never having gone out to earn a living. After the Yi family went bankrupt, she wanted to find a proper job too, but Mu Xuan complained that no one was doing the housework, and made her stay home as a full-time homemaker. In truth, being a homemaker was not easy. Every day was filled with tedious physical labor. By the time she finished it all, the day was nearly over. There was never a moment to rest. Seeing her family work so hard every day, she agreed to stay home and take care of everything behind the scenes. Now that Mu Chen had returned, everyone was determined to fight for a better life again. She wanted to do her part as well. Yi Zixi immediately gave her full support. You are cooped up at home doing housework all day, with no one even to talk to. Setting up a stall would be good. You could do something more meaningful. Whether or not you make money, think of it as getting out and lifting your spirits. Father Yi put down his chopsticks. He tightly held his wife's hand. You have worked so hard all these years. For this family, you have never done much that you truly enjoy. Everyone wants to realize their own self-worth. If you want to run a stall, go ahead and try. With the family's wholehearted support, Mother Yi quietly breathed a sigh of relief. Then she looked at me, who had remained silent. I thought it over, then answered seriously. Selling stationery requires stocking a wide variety of items, so the startup cost would be relatively high. Besides, elementary school students do not have much spending money. It could take a long time to make your money back. Our school's start and dismissal times are fixed, and the food stalls nearby do pretty good business. You could consider selling snacks. There are several schools around there, so business should not be a problem. It would just be tougher in the mornings. You would have to get up early to prepare fresh ingredients. What I mean is, I support the idea of setting up a stall. Mother Yi smiled in relief. I do not mind working hard, but I can only make home-style dishes. How could I make fancy snacks? Your cooking is better than food from restaurants, and we are not going for anything fancy. We can sell tasty, filling breakfasts. There will definitely be a market for that. But as for exactly what to sell, I cannot offer much advice. There are so many snack carts outside the school gates, but I have never bought from a single one. I never even noticed what they sold. As the eldest young master of the Mu family, I had to constantly maintain my figure, poise, and grooming, and make sure my diet was perfectly healthy. I also had to maintain my image and manners at all times. The Mu family stubbornly believed that street food would seriously cheapen their image, and that anyone too fond of eating would disgrace the Mu family name. During the years I lived with the Mu family, I had long since lost any desire for food. When the miss noticed I barely ate at each meal, they replaced the household chefs again and again. Only then did I understand my lack of appetite was not because of the chefs, but the stifling, cold atmosphere of the Mu home. Yi Zixi thought for a moment. When I was in middle school, there was a rice ball stand outside the gates. The rice balls were pretty good. It seems no one sells them outside the school gates now. If we sell rice balls, we will definitely get customers. The couple exchanged a glance. They seemed to think it was a good idea to Tomorrow, I will buy the ingredients and try making some. You can be in charge of taste testing them. Mother Yi had never been this excited. Just thinking that she could earn money and help the family filled her with energy. Father Yi raised a key question. If we are selling rice balls, do we need to have a food cart custom made? I have seen people selling snacks from stalls. Most of them had specially made carts, with a clear place for every ingredient. Yi Zixi suddenly remembered something too. That old stall used a steamer to keep the rice balls warm. But I think we could use a wooden barrel instead. We could tightly cover it with a layer of non-woven cloth, and it should keep them warm quite well. Father Yi happily slapped his thigh. Tomorrow, I will ask my driver friends where we can get one. Now, let us decide what to put in the rice balls. Tomorrow, we will buy ingredients and make some to taste test. Yi Zixi immediately cleared the table, as everyone gathered to discuss it enthusiastically. They occasionally tossed in a funny joke, making the whole family burst into laughter. I was amazed by how quickly they took action. This whole family was decisive and efficient. They had only just mentioned setting up a stall, yet they were already finalizing a plan, discussing ingredients and operating cost. The less people have, the more courage they have to take bold risks, and it is often this extraordinary courage that leads them to success. Their joyful mood completely swept me up. Since I was part of this family now, I somehow raised my hand and volunteered. I can figure out the food cart. The room suddenly fell silent. Everyone turned to look at me. Their stares made me feel a little uneasy. Father Yi suddenly frowned slightly. I know you may have some savings from the Mu family, but now that you are back with the Yi family, you are my child. We can discuss family matters together, but children should never be the ones paying for them. That includes having Su Manyu design the house for us. We did rely on your connections there, but if we buy any expensive new furniture, Dad will pay you back for it. I felt strangely unsettled inside. Maybe I had never truly known familial love, so it was hard for me to adjust to it now. I happen to have a friend in the stainless steel business. Maybe we can get an old food cart from him at a low price. I quickly added. Only then did Father Yi nod in agreement. I took the chance to mention that Su Manyu would bring workers. That way, Mother Yi would not be caught off guard tomorrow. The family talked until after 1 in the morning. The 3 kids still had school the next day, so everyone took turns showering. After my shower, I returned to my room. I locked the door, then checked my phone. Su Manyu had sent me a message. It was clear the great designer had done her best. In the end, the list included materials and furniture, but she had not even charged me for the workers. She had probably used her own construction crew. Su Manyu had always been wary of outside contractors. She never fully trusted them. Some cut corners to stay on schedule, and failed to meet her standards. For high-end interior design, she maintained a construction crew of her own. Her own people handled the important parts. Normally, that cost would be billed to the client, so she could recoup some of it. But friends do not quibble over that little money. I had always thought Su Manyu had a bad temper, but she was fiercely loyal. Whenever she tore into someone, she had a reason. For example, a client with no taste, or someone who did not know what was good for them. How could any of that be Su Manyu's fault? Clearly, the problem was theirs. I transferred the amount listed on the invoice. The next second, I got another message from her. That Xuan is completely insane. Guess what he said when he called me? He actually called me inferior. Where does he get that sense of superiority? The Qing dynasty has been gone for over a century, and he is still dividing people into superior and inferior classes. He even tried to use the Mu family to intimidate me. He said if I would not design for him, I should wait for the Mu family to blacklist me. It is utterly ridiculous. Does he think the Mu family is royalty? One think Chen Jingyi and Mu Yaoe have completely lost their minds too. They actually threw me out for his sake. They love keeping score so much. Mu Xuan had barely finished ranting at me over the phone when an invitation from the Mu family landed in my hands. Should I go and put him in his place? I paused at her last message and sent back a brief reply. Meet me at the school gates. Shen Mingxi brought up receiving the invitation, her face full of smug delight. I have to attend the Mu family's recognition banquet. With a show this big, I will livestream the whole thing for you. Shen Mingxi knew Lin Jiajin's temper. You are not planning to crash the event, are you? They could openly say. They had seen where things stood with the Mu family, and that offending them did not matter. The Mu family had been in business for generations. Their power today was not to be underestimated. Anyone daring to provoke them at the recognition banquet, making the Mu family lose face, would not get away with it unscathed. Perhaps Lin Jiajin did not understand, but there was no need for me to do anything myself. Have you not heard? The Mu family's daughters are returning to the country. They instinctively looked at me, as if seeking an answer. My gaze flickered slightly. I am a bankrupt high school student now. I am not nearly as well informed as you are. Chen Ningxue raised a brow, her tone full of teasing. Bankrupt or not, you are still a young master. I stopped and turned around. When the three of us returned to the classroom, we happened to hear Mu Xuan's voice. My parents are holding a recognition banquet to introduce me as the Mu family's young master. I do not have any friends in the circle, so I hope everyone can come. When he saw me enter from outside, Mu Xuan gave an innocent-looking smile. There will be lots of delicious food at the banquet. Mom and Dad bought me new clothes. You can come pick out anything you like. The clothes they bought are only suitable for you. Our Mu Chen does not wear hand-me-downs. And he does not care about fancy food either. Whenever I faced Mu Xuan, I could feel how fiercely my friends favored me. Even though I was no longer the Mu family's young master, I still had plenty of people in my corner. I did not spare Mu Xuan another glance, and walked back to my seat. The Mu family's etiquette tutor must be terrible. If you invite someone, you tell them in advance. An invitation after the fact does not count. His backpack hung from the side of his desk. He twisted his hands together, looking wrong as if he had been falsely accused. I only thought your adoptive family was too poor. You must be having a hard time after going back. I wanted to invite you to the recognition banquet. Mom and Dad should agree to take you back. Why do you keep telling him to apologize? What did Mu Chen do wrong that he needs to apologize? Mu Xuan immediately dared not say another word. Tears welled in his eyes. What a perfect little innocent victim routine. He started this, yet he was the one sobbing, as though everyone else had bullied him. Zian would not let this chance pass. He immediately stepped forward to defend Mu Xuan. Mu Xuan is only too kind. He was merely worried you were not doing well. Why do you have to be so aggressive? Lin Jiajin gave a cold laugh. I think there is seriously something wrong with his head. Did he even ask whether Mu Chen wanted to return to the Mu family? Who is he to make that decision with his fake concern? Lin Xian's lips moved slightly. As someone from the same social circle, he naturally saw through Mu Xuan's pretense. But he was not like Lin Jiajin. Lin Jiajin was unique in their class. His parents loved each other, and his family was harmonious. One day, Lin Jiajin would inherit the family business. Lin Zian had brothers, so the inheritance might not fall to him. He was unwilling to leave his future to chance. That was why he was looking for a marriage alliance. If he could marry one of the Mu family's daughters, his future would be secure. It would connect his family to the Miss, and earn him greater standing within his own family. Yet he chose to side with Mu Xuan. To this circle, Mu Xuan was very naive, but that very foolishness made him easier to control. Still, I could not be bothered to interfere. After all, other people's plans had nothing to do with me, as long as they did not come after me. As for how complicated high society could be, I knew better than anyone there. The less trouble, the better. There was no need to make enemies everywhere. No one could say whether today's outsider might someday stand at the top of the pyramid. With that thought, I spoke to break the deadlock, so Lin Jiajin would not offend everyone for my sake. I looked at Mu Xuan. Let me tell you two things. I have no intention of returning to the Mu family. I have no interest in competing with you for their affection. As long as you do not come looking for trouble, we can all live in peace. But if you dare cross my line, we will see whether the Mu family can protect you. Hearing this, the sobbing Mu Xuan felt his heart jolt. He looked up at me in disbelief, and met my calm, confident gaze. He could not understand it. There was not a trace of dejection in me. Everyone in class still defended me as always. They still called me Brother Chen. Now I was even speaking so brazenly. Where did I get such confidence? What if Liu Ryan was no longer mine? Seeing Mu Xuan staring at me, his eyes full of scrutiny, Chen Ningxue lounged casually beside me. With a brain like yours, you would never understand. Mu Xuan had no idea how capable I was. He only knows that whatever they want, no matter how desperately they beg and still cannot get, I can always get it for them. Maybe my connections cannot match the Mu family's, but if all our resources were pooled, even if the Mu family sat atop the capital's social pyramid, one day, they could still come crashing down. Chen Ningxue gave a leisurely, cold laugh. To survive in this circle, you first need to know who not to offend. Her tone carried a hint of mockery. Lin Jiajin had no desire to teach Mu Xuan a lesson. He only wanted to keep Mu Xuan from causing trouble later. For once, he did not refute Chen Ningxue. Mu Xuan nearly ground his back teeth to pieces. His eyes, fixed on me, gradually reddened. Finally, he turned and ran out in resentment. Lin Zian called after him with false concern. After being ignored, he curled his lips and said lightly, "To earn someone's trust, you have to strike when their guard is at its weakest." He watched me warily. "I do not do anything without profit. You have no value to me." Lin Zian pursed his lips. Then he slowly walked out of the classroom to go after the fleeing Xuan. Both irritating people had left the classroom. Just what you would expect from someone raised by the Mu family. All he sees is business and profit. He has no warmth or conscience at all. Chen got along with them because they were close in age and had known each other for years. Their trust had been built over time. As for the Yi family, they were strangers connected to me only by blood. Even if I stayed with the Yi family forever, they would remain strangers to me. Lin Jiajin was curious about that. Given my personality and abilities, after leaving the Mu family, I would most likely build my own life. Now that I had gone to the Yi family, I probably had other plans, but I certainly would not stay with the Yi family forever. Being underage made many things inconvenient. At 18, I could open my own accounts and become independent. Nothing unexpected should happen before then. I was not helping the Yi family for nothing, either. As for the renovations, that goes without saying. I simply wanted to live more comfortably. This young master was not used to hardship. I could not spend the whole year sleeping badly. I also hoped to owe the Yi family less when I left. Lin Zian stood in the 5th-floor corridor of the school building. Xuan was crying alone behind the rock garden. After waiting nearly 20 minutes, Lin Zian finally strolled downstairs. Just before reaching the rock garden, he tousled his hair, did 2 sets of high knees, then ran over, panting as he pretended to be worried. "So this is where you were hiding. I have been looking everywhere for you." Xuan looked at Lin Zian in surprise. How could I possibly be in the mood for class? Feeling Lin Zian's concern, Xuan had not expected anyone to take his side. All the hurt in his heart suddenly burst out. His tears fell like pearls from a broken string. I only wanted to get along with my classmates. I never expected their prejudice to run so deep. Lin Zian gently patted his back. That is just how that group is. They have always followed Chen's lead. I cannot stand their smug faces, so I do not get along with anyone in class either. I can be your friend. Touched, a light returned to Xuan's eyes. He nodded firmly and murmured, "Yes." Ever since returning to the Mu family, he had found no one he could confide in. Mr. and Mrs. Mu were often away from home. His 2 older sisters were still abroad, other than a bunch of tactless servants. He had no friends at school either. Everyone just flattered him. No one could understand his pain. It was not as if he could talk to a dog. Lin Zian took Xuan's hand. "I understand you. Going from an ordinary family to a wealthy one, there is so much you need to adjust to. You are under too much pressure. Whenever you are unhappy, you can talk to me. Maybe I cannot do much to help, but having someone listen will make you feel much better." Xuan squeezed Lin Zian's hand in return. Do the people in class favor Chen so much? Because of Liu Ryan? Liu Ryan is not even in this class. Yet everyone here respects her greatly. That means they must have some kind of arrangement with Chen. Chen does not rely on his status in the Mu family. It is because he is close to Liu Ryan. Even if Chen went bankrupt, he could still do well for himself. Liu Ryan was indeed part of the reason, but Lin Zian did not know much, so he answered vaguely. Chen, Liu Ryan, and Shen Minxie had known one another for years. Their bond was not built on mutual benefit, especially Liu Ryan. She and Chen had grown up together, though they were not officially a couple yet. Just looking at those two, and adding Lin Jiajin to the mix, the undisputed heir to the Lin family, who stood completely united with Chen. Lin Jiajin and Chen were closer than many blood brothers. With those to backing him, who would dare offend him? Lin Zian had to admit it. Chen was an exceptional person in his own right. Lin Zian did not say that last part aloud. Xuan assumed I could make anything happen, entirely because Liu Ryan and Lin Jiajin backed me. Is the Liu family really that powerful? Lin Zian cleared up his doubts. The Liu family was among the foremost elite families in Beijing. Their assets and influence were on par with the Mu family. The two families also had close business ties. But the heads of the Liu family, Liu Ryan's parents, had a car accident 2 years ago and had not woken up since. Liu Ryan had no choice but to take over early. That was no secret among Beijing's elite. Liu Ryan was formidable too. She had just graduated from high school then. She gave up further studies abroad and took responsibility for the Liu family's vast business empire. Not a single problem had arisen in the past year, and she had managed everything impeccably. The older generation truly admired Liu Ryan. They respectfully called her young chairwoman Liu. As Mu Xuan listened to Lin Zian's explanation, he thoughtfully rubbed the hem of his shirt. The Mu and Liu families were closely connected. If Liu Ryan became his fiancé, Mu Chen could never threaten my position. In the old apartment building, Mother Yi was testing out rice balls that day. There were many ingredients to buy, so Father Yi had not taken the car out for work. He stayed home to help Mother Yi. When Father Yi saw Su Manyu, he was puzzled. He quickly stepped aside and respectfully invited her in. Su Manyu stepped inside and politely greeted them. She glanced at the busy figure in the kitchen and raised her voice. I am Mu Chen's friend. I brought workers to renovate the rooms. I hope we are not disturbing you. Mother Yi hurriedly wiped her hands and came out. Please, sit down and have some tea. Su Manyu waved her hand. No need to stand on ceremony. Mu Chen said all the old furniture should be removed. Just pack up your clothes and other loose belongings. If you want to keep any of the old furniture, decide where you want it placed, and I will have someone move it. Mother and Father Yi exchanged a look. Both were rather bewildered. Father Yi asked in confusion, What do you mean? That caught Su Manyu off guard. Mu Chen did not tell you? He asked me to renovate the entire place. He bought brand new furniture for everything. Father Yi's mind nearly short-circuited, replacing every piece of furniture. How much would that cost? Mother Yi caught Father Yi by the arm, signaling for him to stop overthinking it. It had already been bought. They should not keep Su Manyu waiting. She hurriedly took off her apron and set it on the tea table. She looked at Su Manyu with a warm smile. Put the old furniture downstairs for now. Do not trouble yourself with removing it. We have a large truck. It will be easy for us to haul it away. Otherwise, with so much furniture, you would have to hire people to move it. Su Manyu spoke very quickly. She was impatient and never took no for an answer. Mother Yi rubbed her hands together. Then I will tidy up the master bedroom first. There is not much in there. It will be easy to pack up. Su Manyu called to the workers behind her. 3 of you, move the furniture downstairs. 2 of you, go in and strip the wallpaper. The couple packed up the belongings in the rooms. Su Manyu supervised the work. Line up the edges of that wallpaper properly. Are you blind? Why would you leave such a huge gap? Can you not see the wall is shedding dust? Clean it before you put it up. What? Are you planning to grow flowers in there? Finish the corners around the window frame properly. If it is crooked, tear it all down and do it again. Any contractor who heard that would have their hair standing on end. Their hands moved faster without thinking. The nitpicky designer, Su Manyu, truly lived up to her reputation. The house was bustling with renovations. Father Yi lent a hand from time to time. Mother Yi returned to the kitchen to keep making rice balls. Designer Su, have some tea. Mother Yi poured a cup and brought it over. Su Manyu was scolding someone with her hands on her hips. At the sound, her anger vanished at once. She turned and accepted the cup with both hands. Thank you, Annie. You do not have to be so formal, Annie. Mu Chen and I have known each other for many years. Just call me Su. Mother Yi found the girl quite polite. She was not as difficult as Mother Yi had imagined. I am planning to set up a stall selling rice balls. I am trying them out at home today. I did not make lunch either. If you are hungry, would you like to try one? Su Manyu did not stand on ceremony at all. I am a little hungry, actually. A smile spread across Mother's face. She looked again at the busy workers. Why not let them take a break too? Would so many people be too much trouble for you? Not at all. I was hoping to get more opinions. Since Mother Yi had said so, Su Manyu told everyone to stop working. Have something to eat, then carry on. Mother Yi went to the kitchen and brought out the rice balls. There were several different flavors. She cut everyone in half. Everyone, have a taste. Give me some feedback. Before Su Manyu even took a bite, she could not stop praising the filling. Most rice balls sold outside use frozen ingredients these days. Few use fresh ingredients like you do. After tasting one, she gave a thumbs up. This is delicious. She practically praised Mother Yi to the heavens. She made Mother Yi feel thoroughly appreciated. The workers enjoyed them too. The workers went back to work. Mother Yi asked Su Manyu to sit and have some tea. Su Manyu could tell she had something to ask. So Su Manyu sat down. How did you meet Mu Chen? He is still so young. Yet you have known each other for about 10 years already, right? Mother Yi murmured thoughtfully. After thinking for a moment, she spoke again, somewhat embarrassed. Ever since Mu Chen came back, he has seemed very distant from us. Even his everyday life feels unfamiliar to us. Could you tell us more about him? Then Su Manyu understood. Mu Chen was staying with the Yi family for other reasons. but the yes sincerely cared for him. But he had never known familial love growing up. He was naturally rather reserved, though he acted easygoing. There was a gulf between him and true family. Mother Yu wanted to care for him, but did not know where to begin. Xuan Yu sighed softly. She could tell the Yi parents were good people. She had once feared Mu Chen would suffer with the Yi family, so she told them what she knew. When Mu Chen lived with the Mu family, his adoptive parents barely paid attention to him. He was raised by the Mu family's two daughters, but they did not spoil him. Instead, they constantly clashed, matching wits and wills. As a result, he never experienced much warmth. That left him somewhat emotionally distant. He did have quite a few friends, though. But friendship could not fill the void left by family. Over time, he became more composed. He carried himself with more poise than people his age, but he lacked the carefree sincerity of youth. The Mu family was hardly a home. There was no warmth there. It was as cold as a machine. The 3 children it raised were all extraordinarily talented, yet none of them thought like ordinary people. Each also had severe flaws. Hearing that her child had lived in the Mu family and had no idea what kind of life he had endured there, Mother's heart ached without end. She had thought her son wanted for nothing in the Mu family and must have been happy when he returned to his impoverished birth family. She assumed he struggled to adjust, creating distance between them. Only now did she realize her son had never known warmth. That was why he had become so distant. What does Mu Chen usually like to eat? I truly do not know. I only heard that the Mu family changed chefs constantly. None of them lasted even 6 months there. After school that afternoon, Yizixi and I went to the elementary school to pick up Yijiai. Quite a few people greeted Yizixi. Did your family strike it rich? Why did you replace all your furniture? The questions left Yizixi utterly bewildered. Instinctively, she looked at her brother beside her. Were they not just changing the layout to squeeze in another desk? Why had all the furniture been replaced? I blink. Xuan Yu's idea. She knows people at a furniture brand. It did not cost much. Let Xuan Yu take the blame. Xuan Yu, busy scolding workers again, sneezed. She gave herself a shiver. There is too much dust. Next time, I should wear a mask. When the 3 siblings returned home, the workers were clearing debris from the guest room. 2 others were replacing the kitchen sink. Yizixi and Yijiayu were stunned. A small shoe cabinet had appeared beside the door. It was not even wide enough for a pair of shoes. But when they pulled it open, the answer became clear. That all the shoes were stored at an angle. When the cabinet door shut, they tilted even further. It saved an incredible amount of space. Though the cabinet was small, it held enough shoes for the entire family. Their shoes no longer had to be piled beneath the beds. The worn-out walls had been covered in wallpaper. The shabby sofa had been replaced with a stain-resistant one. A new glass coffee table matched it. The little table in the corner had not been thrown away. A vase still sat on top. It now held fresh carnations. There was a window in the living room. It had originally been covered by curtains, but now had pure white blinds. The room looked cleaner and more streamlined. In the sunlight, the warm-toned space felt incredibly cozy. Xuan Yu emerged from the guest room. She grew especially excited when she saw me. Eager for praise, she pulled me over. Come see the guest room makeover. I guarantee you will love it. Yizixi and Yijiai followed us inside too, eager to see what their room had become. When they saw the finished room, the sisters' eyes nearly popped out of their heads. The overall palette was a refreshing ocean blue. The interior had been raised with wooden panels to form a raised platform with storage underneath. Without the wardrobe, the room felt much more spacious. It was still an L-shaped bunk bed. The upper bed ran horizontally, while the lower one ran lengthwise beneath it. A mattress was laid directly on the wooden platform. Beside it were steps leading to the upper bed. They were safer than the old vertical ladder. There was a drawer beneath every step. They could hold books and other odds and ends. A compact desk had been built into the corner on the other side. Each sister had her own side, without disturbing the other. The cramped space had become roomy and beautiful, and it had every function they needed. No wonder Xuan Yu was such a renowned interior designer. This drawer can be pulled out and used as a bookshelf, Xuan Yu explained, pulling out one of the drawers beneath the steps. The space underneath can hold books upright. Then she tapped the raised wooden platform and looked at Yijiai. Your brother said you like drawing. This material is stain-resistant. You can sit here and draw without worrying about making a mess. Yijiai's little eyes sparkled like stars. She thanked them excitedly. Thank you, Sister Manyu. Thank you, brother. I have my own space now. I can draw as much as I want. Seeing the child's radiant smile, Xuan felt a surge of pride. She ruffled Yiji's hair, her heart full to the brim. Xuan leaned toward me. For this whole house renovation, not counting my design fee, the materials alone cost over 50,000 yuan. If I had not negotiated my heart out, there is no way 20,000 yuan would have covered it. That is why you are designer, Su. No one else could have done it this perfectly. Xuan immediately lifted her chin high. If your budget had not been so low, I would have torn up those floor tiles and redone all the walls too. I turned to the person beside me and said, I will treat you to dinner when you are free. The Moonlit Night collection just came out. Meeting her expectant gaze, I nodded. I will mail it to you in a couple of days. I lazily narrowed my eyes. Once the finishing work was done, Xuan left with the workers. Mr. and Mrs. Yi asked her to stay for dinner. After everyone else had left, the family discussed what to eat that evening. They had spent all day busy with the renovation, so the couple had no time to buy groceries or cook. Tonight, they would take the children out for a good meal. Mother Yi took my hand and held it in hers. She asked softly, Chen, do you like hot pot? I was not used to physical contact with people I did not know well. After thinking about it, I did not pull my hand away. I answered Mother Yi's question. Why do you ask? The only time I had hot pot was 2 years ago, at a gathering in a hot pot restaurant I owned. The food was quite good, but the prices may have been too high. Wealthy people rarely go out for hot pot, so it went under after just 2 months. I have not had hot pot since then. Yizixi suggested. Then let us have hot pot. The hot pot place by the intersection is pretty good. Their ingredients are fresh. Our brother had the house renovated. We should reward him. They quickly made up their minds. After getting ready, the family of 5 walked to the hot pot restaurant. Mother Yi held my hand, reluctant to let go. Her attitude seemed warmer than usual. Perhaps that was how it was between a mother and her biological son. They got a large table at the hot pot restaurant. Once we sat down, Father Yi handed me the menu. He told me to order whatever I liked. I handed the menu straight to Yizixi. I will handle the eating. Everyone laughed. Yizixi began ordering. After dinner, our parents took their youngest daughter home to rest. The streets were brightly lit that night. Salespeople outside the shop shouted their slogans. I casually changed the subject. Why are you still repeating your final year of high school? The information the Mu family gave me said, you were supposed to start college this year, but you never applied, and repeated your final year instead. Given the Yi family's current finances, whatever happened? Yizixi should have gone straight to college and earned her degree as soon as possible, rather than using connections to repeat a year. At that question, Yizixi lowered her eyes in silence. Then she gave a faint, self-mocking laugh. There were things I would learn sooner or later, so there was no need for her to hide them. Do you know why the Yi family went bankrupt? I shook my head. This had something to do with the Yi family's bankruptcy. Yizixi ruffled her brother's hair. When our eldest sister worked at a Western restaurant, someone took revenge on us and drove the Yi family into bankruptcy. Back then, the Yi family was considered wealthy, but we had only been rich for a little over a decade. We could not compare to old business dynasties. Ningxue had watched our family rise to wealth. She never took what the family gave her for granted, or acted like a pampered heiress. Instead, she chose to improve herself. She hoped that even without the family's help, she would be able to support herself, realize her own worth, and one day help take the family business further. So, from high school onward, she took classes during every long break, or worked part-time to earn spending money. Somehow, she offended someone she should never have crossed. Xuan always blamed our eldest sister for the bankruptcy. He faulted her for always going out. Our eldest sister has been under immense pressure. Xuan was always vicious with his words toward her. Yizixi sighed. Her mood was especially heavy. Xuan became increasingly volatile. That time, he even hit our eldest sister. When I tried to protect her, Xuan shoved me. My head struck the wardrobe. The examination showed I had a concussion. The college entrance exams were close then. There was nothing seriously wrong with me physically, but I often vomited and felt dizzy. In the end, I performed badly on the entrance exams. My parents and teachers all advised me to repeat the year. I pressed my lips together and asked after hearing her out, "Do you not hate Xuan?" Yizixi lowered her eyes sadly. After all, he was the little brother we spoiled for 17 years. Family should not hold grudges overnight. I just never expected him to walk away without looking back. I understand. Yizixi gave a self-mocking smile. She had treated him sincerely for 17 years, only to be cruelly betrayed in the end. compared to betrayal over profit. Being stabbed in the back by someone you love hurts even more. Yizixi suddenly looked at her brother. Her eyes were filled with warmth. We are family. There is no need to keep score over everything. Yizixi continued. We have never expected anything in return for being good to you. It is simply because you are family. And we hope that one day, you will truly accept us. I chose the bed farther inside. I pulled the covers over myself. A new bed really was comfortable. At last, it did not feel like sleeping on a plank. I switched on the little hanging fan. Then I sat up and called Liu Ryan. The instant she answered, a soft laugh came through the phone. What can I do for you, young master? Do not tell me you miss me. I was just bored. Perhaps because I had received so little family affection as a child. I had always been restrained about expressing my feelings. I had never heard anyone say something like, I miss you. If I had business, I would say so directly. When I said I was bored and called her to chat, it meant that I missed her. Liu Ryan's smile turned radiant. The corners of her eyes flushed rosy. Does young master want a half-yuan chat? Or a 5-yuan chat? You are charging me. Young master called me on his own initiative. I am clearly the one getting the better deal. I could not help but laugh. Then I should charge by the hour. 5 yuan an hour. No friends and family discount. Liu Ryan glanced at the time. How about 500 yuan for 2 hours? I laughed so hard my chest shook. You really know how to do business. All the documents have been signed. They will be notarized tomorrow. The approval should come through in 2 or 3 days. Liu Ryan stopped working. She leaned back in her office chair and chatted with me. I answered absent-mindedly. Then I told Liu Ryan about tonight. Even Liu Ryan found it amusing. Are you scared? It sounded more like a statement than a question, as if she understood my feelings better than I did. You are afraid of being loved by family. I once longed for it too. My parents focused their attention on my sisters. They prioritized their education and training. I was always the one they overlooked. At the Mu family home, I had the finest food, clothes, and everything else. But I wanted their approval too. So I worked hard. I ranked first in my grade on every exam. I took every training course they arranged, all to earn praise from my parents. But that hope never came true. When I was 8, I understood. My sisters were learning business, while I was taking etiquette lessons. My sisters read financial reports, while I could only study foreign language speeches. I would never be allowed near business knowledge, because I was only a pawn in a marriage alliance. I only needed to learn to stay in line, then become a bargaining chip for their interest. I stopped expecting anything from family. When faced with the Yi family's care, I thought their kindness made no sense. I racked my brain trying to find some hidden malice, but I was only running away from it myself. After she had not heard me speak for a long while, some things cannot be figured out right away. You deserve to accept every bit of love offered to you, and you have the strength to face whatever comes. There is nothing to worry about. Liu Ryan's words put my heart at ease. 2 years ago, the Yi family went bankrupt. At the same time, I learned I was not a member of the Mu family. After I told Liu Ryan, as if deliberately erasing my surname, she said, no matter what your surname is, no matter what happens in the future, I will stay by your side. She was the one who convinced me to leave the Mu family. The young woman's low voice came through the phone. Chen, just keep moving forward. I will always be behind you. You are my trump card, even if I have to wager everything on it. Perhaps the warning that day had worked. For a while afterward, Xuan behaved himself and attended class. Before long, the family recognition banquet arrived. When Sun Yahan saw Lin Jiajun at the banquet, she was quite surprised. What are you doing here? Are you not on Mu Chen's side? Here to spy on the enemy? Lin Jiajun promptly set the record straight for his friend. I am just passing through. Then he answered Sun Yahan's question. The Mu families to young ladies are back. Of course, I had to come livestream it for Chen. Slightly excited, he pulled out his phone, ready to livestream everything for his friend. After Shen Mingxi entered the hall, her gaze swept around the room. Her expression darkened. She strode toward them. Just as she was about to speak, an announcement echoed through the banquet hall. It came from Mu Yaowei's microphone on stage. They all looked over. Mu Xuan wore a white suit. The much-adored young master smiled with elegant, serene pride. Lin Jiajun quickly started a video call with his friend. Lowering his voice, he said, the real show is about to begin. The banquet has started. He gave the banquet hall a full 360-degree sweep with his camera. What do you think your hot-tempered sister will give him? Either way, it will not be anything nice. I sat at the desk in my room. The desk lamp illuminated my fair face. A soft glow gathered in my bright eyes. A faint smile played at the corners of my lips. I will stop chatting now. I am going to get something to eat. If anything interesting happens, record it and send it to me. Mission accepted. Lin Jiajin made a gesture at the camera. He ended the call, then opened his camera. He pressed record, planning to film the entire event, so he would not miss a single thrilling moment. Mu Yaoi delivered an opening speech on stage. Chen Jingyi stood beside him, her expressions full of theatrical emotion, as if the father and son truly shared a deep bond, and mother and son were of one heart. Once he had said enough, Mu Yaoi handed the microphone to Mu Xuan and had him greet the guest. I am Mu Xuan. When I learned the parents who raised me for 10 years were not my biological parents, I was shocked too. It was a high-sounding speech, probably written by a professional for him to memorize. Lin Jiajin curled his lip in disdain and rolled his eyes. Shen Mingxi was not listening to what Mu Xuan said. Few people there cared what kind of life he had lived for the past 17 years, or how the Mu family had found him. Everyone had come simply because this was a Mu family banquet, whether they had business ties or not. The Mu family was the most powerful family in Beijing's elite circle. They had to show them this respect. She noticed Lin Jiajin holding up his phone to record, switching hands whenever his arm grew tired. She moved closer to Lin Jiajin and whispered in his ear. Lin Jiajin instinctively turned to look at her, then suddenly realized they were far too close. He quickly turned away and handed the phone to Mingxi. Though they were engaged, they had both only just become adults. Their engagement was a business arrangement made in childhood. They had always gotten along like brothers. There were no romantic feelings between them. At least, that was what Lin Jiajin believed. Seeing him press his lips together and edge away, Shen Mingxi's lips curved slightly. Even her childhood friend, a powerhouse in a fight, could get shy. Mu Xuan had barely recited a few lines on stage, and Shen Mingxi had only just taken the phone, when the roar of an engine suddenly came from outside. The banquet hall was on the first floor, but it was deep within the hotel, so no car noise should have reached it. Mu Xuan's speech was interrupted. Everyone stared at the doors in confusion. With a deafening bang, a black Apollo supercar smashed through the doors. The terrified guests screamed and scattered. The long table of pastries and champagne was overturned. Drinks spilled across the floor. The room descended into utter chaos. Mu Yaoi, who had been playing the loving father, darkened as he glared at the sports car. The car screeched to a halt in the middle of the hall. A border collie leaped out of the passenger seat and charged toward Mu Xuan on stage. Mu Xuan was afraid of dogs. He shrieked in terror and instinctively backed away. He tripped and went down headfirst. Stay away from me. His arms and legs flailed wildly. Yet everyone else could see clearly that the border collie had stopped a meter away from Mu Xuan. It had not tried to bite him at all. The driver's door of the sports car opened. A tall young woman stepped out. She wore loose casual clothes. With a slender finger, she lowered the sunglasses perched on her nose. She lounged lazily against the car. Every inch of her radiated defiance. She had turned the banquet into a complete mess. Yet she showed not the slightest remorse. A careless, wicked smile curled across her cold, thin lips. Little brother, why is your tongue so sharp? Your sister kindly brought you a dog as a welcome gift. If you do not like it, fine. But why curse at it so viciously? There was nothing kind about her. She looked more like she had come to wreck the event on purpose. She crooked a finger at the border collie. The border collie obediently ran to her, then sat before her, wagging its tail. Mu Yaoi's face turned livid with rage. Who gave you permission to drive in here? What kind of behavior is this? Take your dog at once. Get in your car and leave. Mu Yulu put the border collie back in the car. She clicked her tongue twice. Father, why are you so angry? Your daughter has been abroad for 2 years, and you did not miss me. You have a new son now, so you no longer care about your daughter. Do not make me say it a third time. Mu Yaoi's tone grew harsher. Mu Yulu put on a helpless look, then got into the car and backed out. The eldest daughter, Mu Ningxue, had entered at some point. She began soothing the guests. My younger sister is thoughtless. She has given you all quite a fright. I have had another banquet hall arranged next door. Please join us there. With Mu Ningxue stepping in to smooth things over, everyone was willing to give her some face. No one pursued what had just happened. Seeing the show was over, Lin Jiajin took back his phone, stopped recording, and sent the video over. Absolutely spectacular. Mu Xuan was taken to the lounge by his parents. The oppressive atmosphere left him struggling to breathe. His hands twisted together. In a voice barely louder than a whisper, He apologized shakily. I was just frightened. I have been afraid of dogs since I was little. Mu Yaoi glared at him furiously. You spewed filth in front of everyone. You have utterly disgraced the Mu family. Mu Xuan's eyes reddened in disbelief. He had been doted on since childhood, and no one had ever berated him like this. He looked up unwillingly at the people related to him by blood. It was clearly sister's fault. Before he could finish, Mu Yaoi coldly rebuked him. Had I known you would be this worthless, I never would have brought you back. He did not understand what he had done wrong. Mu Yulu was clearly the one who caused trouble. Why was he the one being scolded? He looked pleadingly at Chen Jingyi. People said a mother and son were bound by heart. His mother would surely defend him. Chen Jingyi's face was cold. Her expression was no better than Mu Yaoi's. Her voice was icy and devoid of warmth. Do you know how many people you made us a laughingstock for today? If there is a next time, I will send you away immediately. Go home now. Mu Yaoi shot Mu Xuan a vicious glare. Then he left with his wife to handle the aftermath. Every bit of strength drained from him. Mu Xuan collapsed limply to the floor. He laughed bitterly at himself. No wonder Mu Chen had left so decisively. He had not even packed his clothes. He had simply taken a bag and his important documents, then left the Mu family within an hour. Chen Jingyi brought me back, but I never wanted to return. Mu Xuan drew a deep breath. Before getting to his feet expressionlessly, he walked out like a living corpse. Family affection was all it was. It did not matter at all. He now lived in luxury, far above ordinary people. This was everything he had ever wanted. Unlike the heavy atmosphere at the Mu family banquet, the Yi household was warm and cheerful. For dinner, we had my favorite dish, fish and pickled mustard greens broth. Yi Jiayi smiled as she ate. Yi Zixi also had something to say. My classmate's older sister works at a film and television company. Novel adaptations into short dramas are popular now. She said I have a good look for it. If I want a part-time job, she can recommend me for a short drama acting role. That does not sound reliable. That industry is a mixed bag these days. Many are just out to scam you. They make you pay training fees upfront, then promise to arrange work for you. But nothing ever comes of it. Father Yi used to be a businessman. He had heard plenty of scams like that. Easy jobs like being a fitting model always sounded like a scam to him. Truthfully, Yi Zixi was not entirely sure either. After all, scams like that are everywhere these days. I just wanted your opinion first. If you agree, I will go to the interview. If they really ask for training fees, I will turn around and leave. I think it is worth a try. You have my support. With a face like yours, sis, you might become an overnight sensation and get discovered by a talent scout. And if you do not become famous, I can give you a little push from behind the scenes. The result will be the same. Go give it a try. You might find acting fun. Then you will have another option. I offered her some encouragement as well. Yi Zixi laughed. Then I will take your advice. I will give it a try tomorrow. Xiao Chen, will you come with your sister? I would only be idling at home anyway. I might as well get out for a while. So I told her, let us go after lunch tomorrow. I want to sleep in during the morning. Yi Zixi affectionately ruffled my hair. After dinner, I took the kitchen scraps downstairs to throw them out, worried it was unsafe at night. Yi Zixi came outside with me. The two of us took out the trash, then leisurely headed out for milk tea. As we reached the intersection, a flashy sports car sped toward us and stopped squarely in front of us. The moment I saw that Apollo supercar, I stopped walking. My eyes narrowed with a hint of danger. The smile vanished from my face. Mu Yulu got out of the car. She rested both hands on the roof, watching me with a roguish grin. Nothing nice came out of her mouth. Well, if it isn't my little brother who left without a word. You have only been away from the Mu family a few days, and you are already dressed so shabbily. My lips curled. Is the young master at home not enough trouble for you? You came all this way just to check on me? Why so hostile? Your sister cares about you very much. There was not a shred of sincerity in Mu Yulu's words. She walked around the front of the car and came to stand before me. Every step was slow and unruly. We have not seen each other in over a year. I even prepared a gift especially for you. She opened the front passenger door. A border collie jumped down and walked to her side. Then it obediently sat down. I had not even watched the video Lin Jiajin sent me yet, but I knew Mu Yulu treasured her cars more than anything. This limited edition sports car was covered in countless battle scars. A large patch of paint had been scraped off, and dried mixed drink stained it in several places. Considering the time, anyone could guess what she had done, since she had not gone anywhere else in between. She must have brought this dog to the welcome home banquet. Muyulu leaned against the passenger door. The proud young master has not changed one bit. You still do not like second-hand things. But I bought this dog for you. I only took it along to put on a show. You are not going to be this petty, are you? I gave a cold laugh. I walked toward Muyulu, one step at a time, until I stood half a step away from her. I stared straight into her eyes. My calm voice carried a chill. Third, Miss Mu, you really know how to discuss people. What I hate most is little dogs. It wasn't clear whether I meant the border collie at my feet, or the person standing before me. The two of us locked eyes. Yizixi's presence was as gentle as a fresh breeze. She was not afraid of the chilling atmosphere. The milk tea shop is about to close. Only then did Muyulu seem to notice Yizixi. Her contemptuous gaze swept over her. A poor girl from a bankrupt family. Does she deserve your defense? Yizixi remained calm. She seemed to hold no hostility at all. Chen is my little brother. Whatever grudge lies between you, his business is my business. Muyulu laughed mockingly. You do not deserve to be his sister. I fired back without mercy. If she does not deserve it, do you? I emphasized every last word. Muyulu did not get angry. She leaned against the car, smiling. We did live together for 17 years, after all. I rolled my eyes. What exactly did you come here for? I could not tell how much of it was sincere and how much was fake. As if I had heard a joke. My home is right here. Get back home. Muyulu looked utterly unconcerned. If you do not come with me tonight, Ningxue will be the one coming for you next time. You should know that. Your eldest sister is not as easy to talk to as I am. I quickly refuted Muyulu again. She is not my eldest sister. I looked down at the sleek furred dog, the border collie wagging its tail at me. I bent down and grabbed its collar, then shoved Muyulu away from the car. I ignored her pointless provocation. When I looked at Yizixi, my expression softened. Hearing that affectionate sis, Yizixi put an arm around my shoulders. Let us head back early. Watching the two of them disappear, Muyulu took out her phone and made a call. Your brother has another sister now. He does not care about you either. The instant the call connected, that was the first thing she said. Ningxue was silent for a long moment. Then she said flatly, then go win him back yourself. Muyulu's anger flared. She looked toward the aging apartment complex. That place is tiny and rundown. What is there to miss? Is something wrong with his head? The Mu estate is luxurious enough, yet you hardly ever went back either. Ningxue remained perfectly calm. She completely ignored the anger in her sister's voice. He is living in a rundown place now, and isn't that all thanks to you? If Muyulu had not acted so recklessly, and plotted to bankrupt the Yi family, then even after returning to the Yi family, he would still be their young master. He would wear designer clothes and shoes, with a private car to take him everywhere. Why would the whole family have to squeeze into that shabby little home? Muyulu clenched her back teeth. She egged things on when they were doing wrong, then pinned all the blame on me once it came out. Ningxue was getting more devious by the day. You had better keep that attitude. Do not go begging Mu Chen to return later, only for him to ignore you too, and give me a good laugh. With that, she hung up. Ningxue set down her phone. Her fingertips lightly tapped the desk, making a steady rhythm. Her face was expressionless as she thought. She radiated the pressure of someone in power. The manager before her desk lowered his head, afraid to speak. He feared provoking his unpredictable boss. My sister and I bought milk tea, then walked home in the evening breeze. Muyulu had not ruined my mood. Yizixi studied my expression. After a moment's consideration, she casually said, it seems the Mu family's second daughter cares about you. Do not test me. I have no intention of going with her. Since I left the Mu family, I will not go back. I finally escaped that cage. I would not be stupid enough to jump back into hell. As for Muyulu caring about me, maybe a little, but I cannot handle a mad woman's concern. When I was 5, I was still too young to understand. I longed for my family's warmth and protection. After some kids bullied me in kindergarten, I ran to tell Muyulu. Normally, an older sister would stand up for her little brother and go to school to teach the bullies a lesson. But Muyulu dragged me off to learn taekwondo. She said that if I was good enough at fighting, no one would bully me. Then she taught me herself, faced with a 5-year-old beginner. She showed me no mercy at all. She broke my ribs and put me in the hospital for 3 months. And during those 3 months, only the servants took care of me. Liu Ryan would visit me after class, but the culprit never showed her face. When I recovered and left the hospital, Muyulu showed no guilt when I saw her again. She brazenly called me a pathetic weakling. She suggested I learn kickboxing next time. Who would dare want a second sister like that? Mother's street stall plan was progressing smoothly. Father Yi scrubbed the cart inside and out. They planned a trial run tomorrow. The nearby neighbors all knew her, making it easy to gather their feedback and refine things afterward. The day after tomorrow, Monday, they would officially open the stall, selling near City No. 1 high school. Yi Jiayi raised her milk tea. Everyone clinked their cups together. May Mom's business boom. Father Yi sighed emotionally. Chen is this family's little lucky star. Everything in our family is getting better. When Xuan used to live here, there were endless complaints every day. The house was steeped in gloom. We lived like machines following a routine. Since I came back, I have helped the family a great deal, like a force pushing everyone forward to consider what life could become. The full renovation was thanks to me too. The signs of age and decay were covered up. Life had taken on a new look. Everyone was full of drive now to make this home better and better. We each worked hard in our own way, yet remained closely connected. I lowered my eyes and smiled. I never thought giving so much would be rewarded. If the lack of warmth at the Mu family was because I was not related to them by blood, then that would explain why there had been so little warmth. Just look at Mu Ningxue and Mu Yulu. Though they have Mu blood in their veins, they have no affection for the Mu couple either. Even when their biological son, Mu Xuan, returned to the Mu family, he likely would not be valued. Blood ties cannot excuse the Mu family. The Mu couple simply have no human warmth. They entered a loveless arranged marriage and created 3 cold machines. In a family with unhappy parents, the children are doomed to be unhappy too. That was what Lin Jiajin taught me. Let us video call our eldest sister. Now that we are a family of 4, we cannot forget Yixue. Yi Zixi said. Our eldest sister still does not know about the renovation. Let us make her jealous through the screen. Yi Zixi joked, as she used her phone to video call Yixue. She answered quickly. Yixue had foundation on her face. She had just started getting ready to go out. Yi Zixi teased Yixue. Where are you going? All dressed up like that. Whenever our eldest sister came home on break, we never saw her wear makeup. Do not tell me you are going on a date this late. Yixue saw right through her little scheme. Tomorrow is the school's anniversary gala. My classmates and I have been rehearsing a performance. I am only trying out my makeup in advance. Yixue asked, Where are you guys? Yi Zixi chuckled softly. She flipped the camera around to show the family. Everyone took turns saying hello. Yixue's astonished voice came through. Is this our home? Whenever the renovation came up, Father Yi grew especially excited. The renovation was only done a couple of days ago. Let me tell you some amazing news. Didn't you used to like Sumanyu? She designed this house. Yixue was rarely this excited. Sumanyu became famous at 16. The Yi family had some money back then, but they still could not afford to hire Sumanyu. After the Yi family went bankrupt, she stopped hoping for it. She had even stopped thinking about it. Yet somehow, it had quietly come true. I took a sip of milk tea, chewing the pearls thoughtfully. So Yixue likes Sumanyu. She even considers Sumanyu her idol. Why did my eldest sister not study interior design and choose traditional Chinese medicine instead? I took the phone and stood up. Let me show you our room. I showed Yixue the living room first, then took her into the bedroom. A stream of astonished gasps came through the phone. As I introduced everything, I gave her a tour of our new home. Yixue smiled until her face nearly froze. She loved the design so much. After Sumanyu's redesign, the place felt much more spacious. She also loved the pale blue style. Yixue had completely turned into a fangirl. She could not help but marvel. Just what you'd expect from designer Sumanyu. If Sumanyu heard that, she would probably show off in front of me for a month or 2. Yixue suddenly frowned. The renovation must have cost at least 80 or 90,000 yuan. Since Sumanyu is my friend, she probably did not charge a design fee. But the furnishings and materials are not cheap. 20,000 yuan is only the cost of one meal to me. There was no need to put so much pressure on my eldest sister. Yixue sighed. Guessing what she was about to say, I cut her off. Do not feel guilty. Once I finish my graduation arrangements this month, I will start my internship next month. Then, when I come home, dinner is on me. I smiled. Come home soon and see our custom-designed new home. After exchanging a few more pleasantries, we ended the call. Yixue was left completely stunned. She had only been back at school for a little over a week. Yet the family had changed so drastically. She knew perfectly well that I had brought this good fortune. Since changing beds, my sleep quality had improved considerably. I glanced at the caller ID. My eyes darkened, and I declined the call. The caller kept calling back. I waved at Zixi, signaling that I was fine. Then I answered the phone irritably. What exactly do you want? A discreet dark green Mercedes was parked outside the complex. Ningxue looked at Mother Yi outside the window. I am downstairs at your building. Come down and talk to me. Or I can invite this lady into my car. Ningxue's voice was icy. It made every hair on my body stand on end. She must have run into Mother Yi as she returned from closing her stall. I grabbed my keys and ran outside. I knew Ningxue too well. Her methods were vicious and ruthless. Mother Yi could not handle Ningxue's tactics. If Mother Yi really got into her car, there was no telling what shocking things that lunatic might say, or how she might force me back to the Mu family. I quickly changed my shoes and ran downstairs. I happened to run into Mother Yi. I breathed a sigh of relief and slowed down. Then I put on my usual smile. You are back already after closing your stall. How was business this morning? Mother Yi was delighted. You will need to prepare more ingredients tomorrow. Go upstairs and rest for a while first. From afar, Ningxue watched us interact. When she saw me striding toward them, she slowly looked away. The driver immediately started the car and pulled away. I reached the entrance, watching the Mercedes drive away before my eyes. I was completely baffled. I pulled out my phone and called Ningxue. My tone was thoroughly hostile. Weren't you looking to talk to me? I came down, and you just left. Ningxue's tone was calm. I suddenly do not feel like talking. I will pick you up for dinner tomorrow night. Then she hung up. As expected, no one in the Mu family is normal. After dinner, I changed clothes and slung on a small backpack. Then I accompanied Zixi to an acting audition. Once we boarded the bus, I looked over the girl beside me. How long had it been since she bought new clothes? The white shirt she wore had yellowed, and its collar was misshapen. She only had 3 or 4 casual outfits, all worn out from washing. Zixi gave an embarrassed smile. I do not care much about clothes or appearance. At the height of her youth, she should dress beautifully. Most of what she earned from working went toward buying things for Xuan. She had saved almost nothing for herself. She had worked so hard, scrimping and saving to buy clothes and shoes for her brother. Now, all she could say was that she had no regrets. Even though Xuan had coldly ignored her, at least her conscience was clear. She had never wronged Xuan. The Yi family truly is the strangest family I have ever met. Did Xuan save their lives in a past life or something? When you are interviewing at a big company, you have to dress properly. If you show up dressed too casually, you will feel self-conscious too. When we reached our destination, we first picked out an outfit at a brand name store. The moment we entered, a sharp, mocking voice rang out. Isn't this the Mu family's young master? You used to wear nothing but custom designer clothes. Now you are dressed in rags. I almost did not recognize you. Josie's face flushed with anger. Every time we met, we ended up in a red-faced argument. The Zhou family owned several factories and was wealthy, but they were not a true elite family. Zhou Qi envied my excellent grades, so we had never gotten along. He hated me, but had to watch himself because of my status. But times had changed. I was only the Mu family's adopted son, and now I had been thrown out of the Mu family. I was no longer the Mu family's young master. What did I have left to be arrogant about? Since you know I have left the Mu family, you should also know I no longer bear the Mu name. The Mu family's real young master will not let you off. I curled my lips in a smile that did not reach my eyes. Ignoring Josie's venomous glare, I took a modern Chinese-style outfit from the rack and handed it to Zixi. It suits your temperament perfectly. Zixi gave Zhou Qi a wary look. I gave her a look, telling her not to worry. Zhou Qi snorted coldly, glaring daggers at me. You are broke, and you reek of poverty. These clothes cost several thousand yuan each. Can you afford them? You are just trying them on without buying. What will you use to pay if you stain them? My flat tone carried undisguised contempt. Whether I have money or not is none of your damn business. Do not stand there and ruin my view. After matching wits with Mu Ningxue and Mu Yulu, my tongue was not exactly dull. I used to protect the Mu family's reputation. Now that I no longer bear their name, I will hit back at anyone who provokes me. Zhou Qi said furiously. Just you wait. After leaving that threat behind, Zhou Qi turned and left. Zixi came out after changing. I looked her over and smiled with satisfaction. It really does suit you. The production company was small and looked newly established. Following the directions, Zixi went to audition. I waited outside. After staring at the company sign for a moment, I narrowed my eyes. Why did it look familiar? The receptionist led me to the waiting area. With Yi Zixie's outfit today, plus her beauty and poise, she might land a good role. After waiting nearly half an hour, I heard a familiar voice. "Why is it you again?" I set down my cup and turned around. It was Zhou Qi again. Zhou Qi's eyes brimmed with mockery. The once adored young master has fallen so low he is auditioning now. "Still, I suggest you leave." I propped my chin on my hand, watching him like he was a joke. "This is my uncle's company. With one word from me, you will never get a role." I stared ahead thoughtfully. "So this company belongs to your uncle?" Zhou Qi gave a cold snort. "Now that you know, why have you not gotten lost? If you beg me in person, I might consider giving you a role." As soon as he finished speaking, a tall middle-aged man emerged from the office. Zhou Qi rushed over. Chen Zhiqiang looked at his nephew fondly. "He brought my sister here to audition." Chen Zhiqiang loved his nephew like a son. The moment he heard someone had bullied him, he immediately glared over in anger. But when he met those smiling, peach blossom eyes, "What brings you here?" That respectful address made Zhou Qi's eyes go wide. Chen Zhiqiang pushed Zhou Qi aside and hurried toward me. "Did you come to see me about something today?" I calmly took a sip of water. "I am just accompanying my sister to her audition." "You own 50% of this company. Getting someone a role would be easy." I gave Zhou Qi a meaningful look. "Thanks for the reminder, young Master Zhou. Otherwise, I would have forgotten I own shares here." I only had to handle whatever the Mu family assigned me. I had studied investing with Liu Ryan since childhood. Even I had forgotten which companies I invested in. The owners of companies in which I held shares all called me Brother Chen. "Brother Chen, which role is your sister auditioning for? I will have it confirmed for her at once." I glanced at Zhou Qi. My sister likes earning things herself, rather than relying on someone else's influence. Chen Zhiqiang understood at once. He glared at his nephew beside him. "Do you have some misunderstanding with Brother Chen? Apologize to Brother Chen now." I curled my lips and said, "There is no misunderstanding. He simply cannot stand me. What is between us is a personal matter. It should not be mixed with business. Otherwise, it would look like I was abusing my power to settle a personal grudge." Chen Zhiqiang breathed a sigh of relief. Brother Chen knows how to put the bigger picture first. My nephew has been spoiled rotten. I will make sure to rein him in from now on. Zhou Qi gritted his teeth. More than a dozen auditioning actors came out. Yi Zixie was among them. I immediately reigned in my intimidating presence. Yi Zixie said with a smile, "I got a role with very few scenes." I said goodbye to Chen Zhiqiang and left. Chen Zhiqiang watched the siblings leave. I bought everyone at home to outfits. They were mid-autumn festival gifts. Seeing me spend nearly 10,000 yuan at once, Yi Zixie felt embarrassed. That is so much money. Mom and Dad will be too embarrassed to accept them. Each item cost over 1,000 yuan. They are well made and will last. Buying cheap clothes that wear out quickly is pointless. My view on spending is simple. You should have decent clothes in your closet for when you need them. I spent several thousand yuan on clothes, purely to get under Muyulu's skin. Muyulu was nearly driven mad when she got the news. Mu Chen took Yi Zixie shopping for clothes, and even bought new clothes for the Yi family. I was his sister for 17 years, yet he never bought me clothes. Now that he has gone to the Yi family, he takes that so-called sister of his shopping. I am going to demand an explanation from him. Muyulu snatched up her phone and car keys. I have to bring him back today. The manager swiftly stepped forward, blocking Muyulu's path with a slight bow. What good would going there do? You order the Yi family to be bankrupted. The young master is probably still angry with you. Muyulu stopped short. Regret flickered in her eyes. She had deliberately bankrupted them back then, all to keep me from leaving the Mu family. Who could have expected that? Knowing the Yi family had fallen, I would still leave so decisively. I did not trust her in the slightest. Muyulu did not have a good reputation in their circle. That wealthy young heiress was known for her wild love life and lack of ambition. Why would she suddenly cause such a huge uproar? 2 years ago, Yi Shuwei offended her boyfriend. Muyulu was there at the time. When she saw Yi Shuwei resembled me, she immediately had someone investigate. That was when she discovered I was not her biological brother, but the Yi family's biological son. Perhaps, in that cold household, I was the only person she found interesting. She did not want me to leave the Mu family, so she set the Yi family up for bankruptcy. Even if the secret of the switched sons came out, I would see the fallen Yi family and refuse to acknowledge them as my family. But she feared that once the truth came out, I would no longer be free to choose for myself. She could not let me return to the Yi family and suffer. So after the Yi family went bankrupt, she came to flaunt it in front of me. The Yi family is broke now. Just stay obediently with the Mu family, and keep being my good little brother. Your second sister will still spoil you. She told me the truth early, so before it became public knowledge, I would have time to prepare. I could use the Mu family's resources to make investments, and put aside money for myself. At least I would not suffer too much afterward. She never expected the truth to be exposed so quickly. After only 2 years, Mu Xuan came knocking. My decision to leave was not wrong, either. Rather than stay with the Mu family as an adopted son, I chose to leave and make my own way. The one thing she never anticipated was that I would choose to return to the Yi family. Mu Yulu rested her chin on her hand and let out a frustrated sigh. Even now, she did not know whether her decision was right or wrong. Mu Xuan had come to them on his own. How did he know he had been switched at birth? That question had been bothering me lately, too. When I had lunch with Liu Ryan on Monday, I discussed it with her. I had learned about my identity 2 years ago. So, when Mu Xuan appeared, I did not realize anything was wrong. But after thinking it over carefully these past few days, Mu Yaoe and Chen Jingyi never valued me. They could not have suddenly searched for their biological son, and the Yi family had gone bankrupt long ago. Mu Xuan had no chance to contact the Yi family. So how did he learn the truth of his birth? And where did that paternity test come from? Liu Ryan found it suspicious too. When I was born, the Mu family was already among the elite. They had a private hospital and dedicated ward. How could their child have been switched with the Yi families? Someone must have done this deliberately. Mu Xuan came to their door with a paternity test. If he really is their biological son, that is one thing. But where did he get that test report? If he is not their biological son, then whoever is behind this has a far deeper scheme. I do not care which family I belong to, and I care even less whether Mu Xuan truly is their son. But if someone is manipulating this, then I have become a pawn in their game. And for now, we do not know their motive, or who they are targeting. I do not like the feeling of being plotted against. I will have someone investigate discreetly. Find an opportunity to sound Mu Xuan out. Liu Ryan poured me a glass of orange juice. She did not seem overly worried about it. After all, I had been very young back then. Even if that person had been targeting someone, it could not have been me. It did not concern me much personally. So naturally, she did not need to worry too much. That made sense. But knowing someone was watching me in secret was still a chilling feeling. It was safest to get to the bottom of it. Naturally, I trusted Liu Ryan. Liu Ryan narrowed her eyes. The young master is being so formal with me now. After knowing each other for 17 years, we are starting to feel more and more like strangers. I shot her a glare. Could you tone down the dramatics? Liu Ryan put on a heartbroken expression. You used to call me Sister Yan. Now I am just Boss Liu to you. I pretended to smack her on the back. She only laughed and did not dodge. Their research institute has genetic testing equipment. Get a strand of Mu Xuan's hair and run a comparison. You will not have to be sent abroad after graduation, but you have applied to graduate early here in China. I am handling everything at the company. Shouldn't you come help me sooner? Liu Ryan laughed in exasperation. I am not some workhorse. You invest money, but do no work. What kind of boss are you? When class began, the teacher entered the classroom with the textbook in hand. Mu Xuan turned to look at my seat. The corner of his mouth lifted slightly. A calculating glint flashed through his eyes. He was picked up at noon, and class is about to start, but he still has not returned. Could something urgent have happened? Perhaps we should begin class first. Hearing Mu Xuan's sugary, manipulative words, Lin Jiajun rolled his eyes. I thought that brat had learned his lesson, but the moment he got a chance, he started smearing my name again. Lin Jiajun raised his voice. Mu Chen went to discuss a business partnership with Liu Ryan, since Boss Liu picked him up. You need not worry about his safety, teacher. The teacher nodded in understanding. The teacher opened the textbook and began the lesson. Mu Xuan's face turned livid. What kind of school ignores students skipping class? Shanghua was full of heirs from powerful and wealthy families, though most would eventually inherit their family businesses. Many already had ventures of their own. Missing class for meetings was nothing unusual to the teachers. The school was very lenient about such matters. After all, it wanted students to gain real-world experience. It could hardly limit their growth. Missing a class was no big deal. As long as you passed your finals, all was well. Naturally, Mu Xuan, who was new here, did not understand that. To knock me off my pedestal, he first had to get rid of Liu Ryan. If he could not get rid of her, then trying to drag me down this way was not a bad plan either. By the time I returned to school, It was already the third class of the afternoon. It happened to be writing class. I changed in the locker room, then joined my classmates at the riding grounds. You had lunch with Sister Yan for hours. I shot Xuan a meaningful glance. It was a major life event. It concerned bloodlines and family fortune. How could that not be a major life event? Lin Jiajun did not catch my meaning. Did she confess to you? Did you finally make it official? I glared at him, amused. She is one of my closest friends, someone who truly understands me. Lin Jiajun curled his lip. Close friends, my ass. Everyone knows you two have secretly promised yourselves to each other. I rolled my eyes at him. You and Ningxue are the ones destined for each other. Destined for each other, says who? Your sister is more my type. What century is this? Who still does childhood betrothals? Ningxue and I are strictly friends. If our families really force a marriage alliance someday, it would be awkward seeing each other every day. I was speechless and amused. You are just obsessed with pretty faces. Ningxue has a gentle personality. If you really dated her, you would probably find her boring. Ningxue suits me. Lin Jiajun protested. You are just being overprotective. He reached out and wrapped an arm around my waist, making me laugh and beg for mercy. I leaned back to evade Lin Jiajun's attack. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Shen Ningxue approaching. Come control your future husband. Lin Jiajun's ears turned red. He stopped at once. Shen Ningxue's ears turned red too. She lowered her head and touched her nose. The engagement between the Lin and Shen families was no secret, but saying it so loudly in public was still terribly awkward. A soul-rending scream tore through the air. Everyone turned to look. Xuan was clutching the reins for dear life. His face was white with terror, his features twisted. The riding instructor pursued him on horseback, ready to rescue him at any moment. As she pursued him, the instructor shouted, "Do not pull the reins so tight. Relax your body." She was trying to teach Xuan to control the horse himself, but all he could hear was screaming. He could not relax at all. His palms were slick with sweat. His heart felt ready to leap from his chest. I have never seen such a stupid student. Lin Jiajun stared blankly. Speechless, he tugged at the corner of his mouth. There are 2 riding classes a week. How does Xuan manage to get terrified in every single one? Shen Ningxue shook her head with a sigh. How did that brain of his pass the entrance exam? Are you not going to help him? If he gets thrown off, he will probably dislocate an arm. Not my problem. Isn't the instructor rescuing him? What does it have to do with me? Then the instructor's voice carried over from afar. Mu Chen, hurry and help. Lin Jiajun and Shen Ningxue grinned in delight at my misfortune. I sighed helplessly. Then I mounted my horse and gave chase. Sometimes being an outstanding student was not a good thing. I pulled Xuan in front of me and brought him back safely. The instructor leaped onto the runaway horse and brought the frantic animal under control. Xuan had fainted. The school doctor took him away. I stroked the horse I had raised since it was a foal, as if praising it for doing well. Lin Jiajun came over and patted my shoulder. How generous of you to save that young master. Shen Ningxue gave a soft snort. She said lazily, Brother Chen is heartless. He only helped because circumstances forced his hand. I rolled my eyes at them, pretending to be displeased. You two are playing off each other. Calling me heartless, are you? Lin Jiajun gave to fake laughs. Shen Ningxue looked entirely composed. Who told you to take first place in last year's exam and show off your skills on the field? Otherwise, they would not have called on you by name today. Being too good is a crime too. If I had not pulled out my trump card, I might not have taken first place. I might not even have been able to stay at Shenghua. Lin Jiajun and Shen Ningxue stopped joking. There really was an impressive person in our grade. Liu Mangyun from class 1, my fiercest rival at school. Our grades were evenly matched. I only beat her by a few points each exam. In last semester's writing exam, Liu Mangyun earned a score that stunned everyone. If I had not seen the situation and raised the difficulty, then narrowly won the final overall score by 1 point, I might not have been able to study at Shenghua this year. Liu Mangyun was delicately pretty and very popular in our grade, but she always gave me a sinister feeling. Thinking of Liu Mangyun's smile, Lin Jiajun could not help but shudder. It was not an openly sinister expression. She clearly smiled as warmly as a spring breeze, yet there was something strange about her eyes. I always felt she was hiding malicious intent. It sent a chill down your spine, especially the way she looked at me. There was a smile on her face, yet she kept that hostility buried deep. That hostility was faint but unmistakable, making her intentions impossible to read. Shen Ningxue nodded in agreement. She had dealt with Liu Mengyun twice. She found Liu Mengyun to be a wolf in sheep's clothing. Hardly a word from her mouth was truthful, yet she radiated an icy chill from within. I fell into thought. I had never met Liu Mengyun face to face. Before this, we had only competed on the rankings. I had never looked into her background. Among Beijing's elite circles, I had never heard of a Liu family either. Shen Mingxi, however, knew a little. I heard she is not from Beijing. She lives with her aunt. Her aunt is from Shanghai's social circle. I do not know her aunt's name, and no one has been able to find out. She could be considered a wealthy heiress. Lin Jiajin was full of questions. So that makes her from Shanghai. She came all the way to Beijing for school. Shen Mingxi shrugged. Is that so unusual for an elite school? Our school has students from other provinces too. Maybe her family wanted Sheng Hua's education, so they sent her here on purpose. Strange as Liu Mengyun was, she had nothing to do with me. I did not even know her. She could not possibly be targeting me. I stopped dwelling on it. Forget it for now. I swung back onto my horse, and we rode carefree across the field together. After practicing for a while, I went to change for the next class. After changing, I stepped out of the locker room and came face to face with Liu Mengyun, the sinister girl my friends had described. Liu Mengyun's thin lips curved into a smile. Her eyes shimmered brightly, but there was no smile in their depths. I asked without any apparent hostility, "Classmate Liu, are you here to change? Or were you waiting here for me?" Liu Mengyun smiled openly. There have been many rumors going around our grade lately. Classmate Mu, you are clever and quick-witted. You should not throw away your future on impulse. My eyes narrowed almost imperceptibly, then quickly returned to normal. Since you know they are rumors, why come and waste my time with this nonsense? What is the real reason you left the Mu family? Yet I sensed a trace of danger in her eyes. I looked back at her calmly. What if I said it was to find my family? Would you believe me? I raised an eyebrow. Then why ask? I did not waste another word on her. I walked past her without a backward glance. Liu Mengyun's gaze froze. Her smile vanished. Undisguised malice flashed in her eyes. I returned to the classroom and took my seat. I unscrewed my water bottle and took a drink. I replayed our conversation in my mind. Lin Jiajin and Shen Mingxi had been right. There was not a single flaw in Liu Mengyun's words. She wore a smile, yet her gaze was vicious. It revealed a faint but unmistakable hostility. She was mysterious and dangerous, impossible to figure out. The other heirs of wealthy families were not blind. If Liu Mengyun's strange behavior were so obvious, so many people would not still admire her. The only explanation was that she hid it well. Yet she could not hide it from me at all. She was even wary of the people around me. She was hostile toward me, but I did not understand why. Today was our first face-to-face meeting. Before this, we had never crossed paths. I belonged to Beijing's social circle. Our worlds could not have been further apart. We had never even met outside school. Could it be because I had beaten her in grades for 2 years? She also seemed deeply concerned about why I left the Mu family. Someone from Shanghai's social circle, caring about gossip among Beijing's elite families, was rather hard to fathom. Could she have a grudge against the Mu family? But if she did have a grudge against them, why come looking for me? So I decided to stop thinking about it. What I needed to know would come to light eventually. Lin Jiajin plopped himself onto my desk. Want to come to my winery for a drink tonight? I patted his hand. Then I began tidying the books on my desk. I could not help frowning. Could you show a little decorum? I shot him a glare. Still, he reached down and tugged at his hem. My winery has been open this long, and you have never visited. Shen Mingxi rolled her eyes. You really have faith in yourself, huh? You know the winery is bound to go under. Lin Jiajin gave a scornful laugh. He smacked Shen Mingxi on the arm. Why are you butting in? Last time, the new bottle of wine you got for me was ruined. I still have to settle that score with you. Shen Mingxi leaned against the desk opposite his. Facing Lin Jiajin, she said, to avoid being caught evading inspection, the deal was suddenly called off. It was not like I withheld it on purpose. Next time I find a good bottle, I will make it up to you. All right. As I listened to them bicker, Lin Jiajin was still upset and went to pick a fight with her. He threatened to strip off her jacket in front of everyone. Shen Mingxi felt embarrassed. The two of them started scuffling. The classroom filled with laughter. I lowered my head, covering my mouth as I stifled a laugh. These two had been at each other's throats since childhood. No wonder Lin Jiajin only saw her as one of the guys. Seeing how happily I was laughing, Lin Jiajin reached over and poked my arm. Do not just stand there enjoying the show. You still have not answered me. I will get you some 1980 grape juice. Is 1980 grape juice not still wine? How would you dare let me drink alcohol? Are you not afraid Liu Ryan will lose her temper? Everyone knows I am the one she holds closest to her heart. Anything even slightly harmful to me, she has to get rid of before she can rest easy. If Lin Jiajin dares give me alcohol, he will be the next one she deals with. I said nonchalantly. You two can stop arguing. I am not going tonight. Mu Ningxue asked me to dinner. Lin Jiajin immediately jumped off the desk. It was as if he had heard the sky was falling. His voice rose several pitches. What does the Mu family's eldest miss want now? She is not planning to kidnap you, is she? Shen Minxie patted my shoulder with a determined look. She looked like she was sending me off to war. My family has a flexible protective vest. I will have someone bring it out for you now. So, you can wear it tonight. Lin Jiajin and Shen Minxie were not overreacting. They knew I did not get along with the Mu family's two young ladies. They had known me for more than a decade. So naturally, they knew those two sisters' temperaments as well. Mu Yulu once had a large dog. When she was 17, resentful of Mu Ningxue controlling her, she set the dog on 19-year-old Mu Ningxue. Mu Ningxue had the dog put down without a word. The incident threw the Mu family into chaos. Mu Yaoe and Chen Jingyi questioned both of them. Mu Yulu denied giving the order. Meanwhile, Mu Ningxue directly pinned the blame on me. My parents knew it could not possibly have been me. Yet they still punished me to reflect alone in my room, grounding me for an entire month. To get revenge on Mu Ningxue, Mu Yulu secretly slipped into the company, where she was training at the time. She shut off the main power switch. The blackout caused important company data to be lost, costing them more than $1 million. Without another word, Mu Ningxue turned around and smashed up Mu Yulu's favorite car. Both sisters were seriously at fault that time. Mu Yulu falsely accused me of cutting the power. My parents still knew the truth, but indulged their reckless behavior anyway. They confined me again just after lifting my punishment, and grounded me for another month. That was when I understood. I was just a pawn meant for a marriage alliance. No matter how sensible or well-behaved I was, they would never truly see me. I would never receive a single word of praise. Instead, countless undeserved disasters fell on my head. The mistakes my two sisters made were always mine to take the blame for, because I simply did not matter to them. Through those two incidents, I also saw my sister's true natures clearly. My eldest sister was cold and ruthless. My second sister was wild and untamed. If I wanted to grow up safely, I had to fight them. After my friends learned all this, more than once, they said that my surviving under those two sisters, until now, was already an unbelievable stroke of luck. You are having dinner alone with your eldest sister. Maybe call the police in advance. Or take a self-defense baton. Her temper is impossible to predict. I am afraid you might say something. She might just lay hands on you and teach you a lesson. Lin Jiajin was full of worry. His best friend was so frail he could be blown over. Going unarmed to that dinner, who knew what might happen? I glared at him irritably. Why do you not come with me? Did you not promise Ryan you would be my bodyguard? Lin Jiajin sucked in a sharp breath. I cannot beat Mu Ningxue either. Everyone knows she lost it at a banquet before. She dealt with the troublemaker right there. That is why her father sent her overseas. You two can relax. She would not actually lay a hand on me, though I do not like either of my sisters. I know I will not be hurt. Lin Jiajin pulled over a chair and sat beside me. You cannot be sure of that. When you are in danger, both your sisters protect you at every turn. But when you are not in danger, they are the greatest danger of all. Being grounded was nothing. Have you forgotten she made you limp for 6 months? I rubbed my nose. For a moment, I did not know what to say. That was not really Mu Ningxue's fault. When I was 13, Mu Ningxue took me out. We were ambushed by men sent by a rival family. She had no bodyguards with her then. Even she could not fight off so many attackers alone. While she was protecting me, someone struck my leg with a wooden club. Luckily, I trained regularly and managed to dodge somewhat. After 6 months of recovery, I was completely fine. For those 6 months, Liu Ryan personally drove me to and from school. Liu Ryan told me that Mu Ningxue took care of every person who had ambushed us. Her methods had been ruthless. In her own way, she avenged me. But thinking about it still sent a chill through me. So I still did not like her much. She was always expressionless, impossible to read. She radiated menace, and her methods were vicious. I smiled, reassuring them both. I have been fighting them for 17 years. I will be fine. Lin Jiajin sighed. He ran a hand through his short hair and said, Liu Ryan is in Jing City too. If anything happens, call for backup right away. We will rush over and call the police. The sky gradually darkened. School was over. I packed my bag and drew a deep breath. I truly did not want to deal with my eldest sister, but I had no choice. Even if I avoided her today, there would still be tomorrow. I could not hide from her forever. When I reached the school gate, I saw that familiar dark green Mercedes. To my surprise, for once, Mu Ningxue had gotten out to meet me. The eldest miss came to pick me up herself. I am truly honored. I tugged at the corner of my mouth. The moment I spoke, sarcasm dripped from my voice. Where's that so-called sister of yours? She looked around. There was no one in First High's uniform waiting nearby. She had someone investigate it. Yizixi came to pick me up every day after school, but she had not come today. I hooked my school bag over my shoulder. Did you not invite me to dinner? So I told her to go home first. Mu Ningxue's gaze darkened. A hint of danger flickered within it. You are very protective of her. With a smile that did not reach my eyes, I met her gaze. I said, one word at a time. I am very wary of you. Our gazes clashed. Neither of us would yield. Watching secretly from behind, Lin Jiajin and Shen Mingxi felt that war could break out at any moment. They feared we would not even make it to the restaurant before we started fighting. The tension was suffocating. They only saw Mu Ningxue's lips move. They had only exchanged sentences, and it was already this tense. I think it would be safer if we followed them. Before they could decide how to help, an uninvited troublemaker appeared. Xuan was wearing his school uniform. As he ran, the hem of his uniform fluttered in the wind. He looked youthful and bright. His smile was sunny and charming. Although he had greeted both sisters at the banquet that day, he had not seen them in the 2 days since. But at the end of the day, he was still their biological brother. Mu Ningxue coming to pick him up must mean she wanted to make peace. And seeing the tension between us, he assumed she disliked me, the fake young master, too. Xuan put on a sweet, cutesy voice. He thought that would win her over. Eldest sister, did you come to pick me up? I am your real little brother. You have to protect me from now on. He had no idea what kind of people the Mu sisters really were. I snorted coldly, then rolled my eyes. I felt sorry for Yizixi. He acted as if Yizixi had mistreated him while he lived with the Yi family. Rest assured, you will get what is coming to you. Xuan shot me a smug glare. Then he turned to Mu Ningxue. He put on an understanding, obedient act. Even though he stole 17 years of my life, I do not blame him. You should not be too hard on him either. Since you still have things to discuss, I will get in the car first. He reached for the rear door, but it would not open at all. He knocked on the driver's window, but the driver did not even glance at him. Xuan turned to Mu Ningxue, looking aggrieved. The driver will not open the door for me. I could not help laughing. Your real little brother is waiting for you. I will not keep you company. I plan to make my escape. Xuan froze in place. He looked at me, then at Mu Ningxue. He could not believe she had come to pick me up. There were already plenty of people by the school gate at dismissal. Now, even more had gathered to watch the show. How could they pass up such a perfect chance? With so many people watching, Xuan could not afford to lose face before such a crowd. He forced a smile and said, So eldest sister invited him to dinner too. Then let us get going. If mom and dad knew we were getting along, they would be so happy. He was using their parents to pressure Mu Ningxue. If she did not play along, the Mu family would lose face. Their parents would surely blame her. Mu Ningxue had no feelings for her parents. Naturally, she was not afraid of their disapproval. She ignored Xuan's clumsy little scheme. She never looked at him once. I stood my ground. Without backing down, I met her gaze. Mu Ningxue narrowed her eyes. You've really grown capable after all these years. You flatter me, eldest miss. How would I dare get into your car? I am not getting in. Let us stand here and waste time together. Do I need to invite you into the car myself? I refused to back down. I would see what she tried to pull. In the Mu family, it wasn't just my sisters and me who were at each other's throats. The two sisters were bitter rivals too. They had fought since childhood. They constantly sabotaged each other, then shifted the blame. Later, I used my second sister to keep my eldest sister in check, and my eldest sister to restrain my second sister. They kept each other in check. Mu Ningxue clenched her back teeth. With helpless resignation, she sighed inwardly. Get in the car. Another win for me. I smiled. Only then did I agree to get in. I walked to the rear door. The driver wisely unlocked it at once. I opened the door, ducked down, and climbed inside. Once I finally got in, she coldly glanced at Xuan. Every stray thinks they can claw their way up. Anything so low class would only dirty my car. She was clearly not talking about anyone else. She was disgusted by having a brother like Xuan. She thought he tarnished her standing. Ningxue walked around to the other side and got in. I rolled down the window. With a soft laugh, I said, "Practice your writing properly from now on. If anything like today happens again, I will not save you. An ungrateful wretch is worse than a dog." The window rolled up. The car sped away. Xuan stamped his feet in fury. He hadn't expected eldest sister to show him no respect at all. She took me away and left him behind. He was clearly the Mu family's biological son. Why was I no longer even a Mu? Still so highly valued? Why did Ningxue still protect me? Why was I always such a persistent thorn in his side? The onlookers understood everything clearly. Though he was the true young master, his family did not value him. In Ningxue's eyes, Xuan wasn't worth even 1/10,000,000th of me. No matter how Mr. and Mrs. Mu felt, Ningxue would ultimately inherit the family fortune. Without her approval, his title as young master was meaningless. Mother Yi turned to her daughter, who had come to help after school. Chen will be fine. I knew what Mom was worried about. Yi frowned and said, "Mom, trust him. He promised us he would not go back to the Mu family and suffer again." Jiajin ran over excitedly. "Hello, Auntie." His eyes were glued to Yi's face. How could anyone be this beautiful? She looked like a goddess descended from heaven. Too ethereal for the mortal world. Ningxue pressed her lips together, her eyes full of resentment. She shifted sideways to block Jiajin's view. "Annie, we are Chen's friends. He told us you run a small business here. We came to join the fun." Mother Yi warmly smiled and said, "Hello, you two. Since you are Chen's good friends, I will make you a deluxe rice ball to try." She made a rice ball loaded with extra fillings, then cut it in half and shared it between them. "Here, try it. See if you like it." Ningxue gladly accepted it. Jiajin enjoyed his share too. Taking a huge bite, he said, "You stir-fried all these fillings yourself, right? It is delicious. I would love to come by your house for a meal someday." He ate without the slightest restraint. Just watching him made everyone hungry. Mother Yi smiled until her eyes were mere slits. "Just let me know beforehand whenever you want to come. I will make a few extra dishes. You are welcome anytime." Her son had so many friends at school, and they were all kind children. That showed how well-liked he was. How could a mother not be happy? Of course, she felt relieved. With those two lively characters drawing attention, several classmates could not help coming over. Only then did they learn that the woman was my birth mother. They all began supporting her business. A busy stall always attracts more customers. Before long, the stall became bustling. Yi pitched in as well. Jiajin spent the whole time admiring her from the side. His face was utterly love-struck. Ningxue rolled her eyes. It was bad enough that, in her best friend's heart, she ranked below Chen. She could accept ranking below Liu Ryan too. But now even Yi ranked above her. Her place in his heart was in serious danger. Who knew when this guy would ditch his friend for a pretty face? Then she would be nothing but his childhood friend. She needed to think of something. Ningxue subtly shifted her position. She blocked the boy's view of Yi. "Want to see a movie together this weekend?" A burning gaze followed Yi. When she met Jiajin's starry, love-struck eyes. "You are so beautiful." At first high school, she was secretly regarded as the school beauty. Even when shopping, people often stared at her. She was used to being watched with that kind of look. But when that person was her brother's friend, she felt a little embarrassed. "Thank you. You two seem very close." Jiajin casually threw an arm around Ningxue's shoulders. "If we were allowed to marry, I'd marry her in a grand wedding procession." Ningxue covered her forehead in embarrassment. Saying something like that in front of Chen's sister. Was he not afraid she would get the wrong idea? They had known each other for more than a decade. She truly felt that he could be thoughtless sometimes. No wonder I was his only buddy. But Yi found his personality refreshingly straightforward. "You still have not answered my question. Are you going this weekend?" Jiajin eagerly asked back. "Do you want to come with us?" If he could bring Yi along, he could admire the beauty a little longer. But Yi shook her head. "I have a part-time job this weekend. You two go ahead." Jiajin instantly deflated. "So, what is our young master busy with?" "For the past 2 weekends, because I had just returned to the Yi family, I had to visit the hospital. Liu Ryan was back this week too, so I should go see her." Yi did not know exactly what kept me busy, But after spending this time together, she knew I had already built my own power. Even though I was no longer a Mu, I still had many businesses unknown to others. I was no ordinary high school student. Besides, it was my private business. So she did not press further. Then come visit our home when you have time. You are welcome anytime. After selling the rice balls, they closed the stall. Father Yi came to pick them up. Shen Mingxi even helped load the food cart into the car. The Shen family car had been waiting by the roadside for a long time. She then pulled Lin Jiajin into the car. She planned to take him home to help organize some things. Shen Mingxi sighed helplessly. She was just like Liu Ryan. Each of them was little more than her childhood friend's handy helper, though perhaps they were not quite the same. Night fell. The window reflected my uninterested expression. This restaurant again. Perhaps because I had so few memories at the Mu house, and I came here so often. Mu Ningxue bought the place. After that, she always brought me here to eat. But a person's enthusiasm is limited. Come too often, and eventually you grow tired of it. Just as I later grew weary of the Mu family's coldness, I asked her directly, "You went to all this trouble to bring me out for dinner. What exactly do you want? You came looking for me yesterday for nothing, and specifically invited me to dinner. This is clearly not something we can settle in a few words." Mu Ningxue picked up her wine glass. She took a sip of red wine. "Do they treat you well? So all this was just to ask me that." "They treat me well. It is no worse than being the Mu family's young master." Mu Ningxue's expression turned complicated. She set down her wine glass gloomily. She neither agreed nor disagreed with my answer. She had long known that I planned to leave the Mu family when I came of age. She had even secretly invested in me over the last 2 years, so I could hold more assets and protect myself. But she never expected me to return to the Yi family, to live with those people she considered worthless, with the businesses I currently owned. If I put some effort into managing them, I could live comfortably for the rest of my life. Yet I insisted on meddling in the Yi family's affairs to help them. It was a waste of time and resources. I looked out at the night beyond the window, yet my heart felt calmer than ever before.